Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another podcast that will probably join the other league of podcasts that are being created on the internet. It's the Experience Share podcast with your host, Left Joy-Con Griffin.
And your co-host, Ageless Entity Brendan. Also, I'd like to point out that we're not even the first Experience Share podcast, actually.
Are we? Are we not?
There was one before that I think, like, Your Fried Bread was a part of.
Who the hell is that?
He's a shiny hunter.
Oh. Well, this is don't sue us.
Alright,
well, if anyone's Pokemon's gonna sue us for stealing the name Experience Share.
I did think about introducing the name Key Items, and, like, the whole show would be like, oh, shitposty videos are like mock bike or something stupid. But, like, then I was like, no, just Experience Share.
Yeah.
So this should just be a channel where podcasts and shitposts go.
Yeah. Specifically Pokemon. If you couldn't tell from the title of it being Experience Share, it's gonna be a lot of Pokemon involved here.
Yeah, mostly Pokemon related. But if something big happens, you know,
like anything that interests us, like there's like something that recently just happened. Like we don't want this. This isn't 100% Pokemon. I would say it's about 75% Pokemon related. We will be covering a lot of Pokemon related news from the week.
Considering Pokemon takes up 50% of my interests.
Yeah, and probably I'll say about 45% of mine.
Yeah, we'll talk about cartoons, movies, whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's more 50-50.
A book, maybe. I don't know. If I read a book.
I don't fucking read.
I mean, I write.
Do you write?
Yeah, I do.
I've never seen writing of yours.
Well, because most of my writing goes to my teachers, and they say, "Very good job, gold star."
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, I guess. So I guess a good way to start this out is introducing ourselves.
Or well, you missed the note in my in my aptly titled Untitled Notepad that we need to tell the audience to ignore our shitty production quality, excluding the mic.
To be fair, this is
you just bought.
To be fair, this is the first episode. We'll grow. If there's any problems, we'll fix them along the way.
For example, this background art that I made, having not done digital art in years, while wrestling with a mouse that barely
This
precise.
mouse works perfectly fine when I play video games.
It is, yeah. When you play video games, I don't even know how it works with that, because like you play Overwatch or like any first-person shooter where like precision is important.
I never said I was good at Overwatch.
Okay, but like your mouse just like sometimes it'll jitter all the way over to the. I'm coming up with excuses. I'm just inexperienced with digital art.
Well,
I'm thinking about artists that I want to like talk about, like just sending them the completed work and saying, "Here, can you make this look better?
Can you fix it?
Yeah, can you make the table have straight lines?
Can you table that has straight lines? Can you make the chairs look like they're chairs?
Specifically the left one.
Can you make
mine? Can
you make that fucking logo?
Oh yeah, I'm the character on the left. He's the character on the right.
Oh yeah. I guess whatever. We should leave it up to mystery, you know, like which one's which. Leave a comment down below. Which one do you think is the sexier looking one, aka the one with the beard?
We're characters.
Are we characters?
They're cartoon characters. You can't sexualize those.
This is coming from Brendan Trevathan.
What?
You can't sexualize cartoon characters.
You can't. Or you shouldn't.
Zone.
Don't bring that up. That is the worst thing I've ever seen on YouTube.
That's no. Jesus, someone's sensitive about fucking cartoon.
Well, okay. Look, I just don't think that. I don't think it's right to take children's characters, and then when like little Susie's looking up her favorite character, like Peppa Pig, she goes up and she finds some gross animation. Don't look up You looked up Peppa Pig. No, don't do that.
Oh my god!
Don't put that. What, Griffin? Get rid of it.
This is no longer
parental advisory.
This is no longer advertiser friendly. Even though we can't put ads on this.
Yeah, this is definitely a passion project. We're not expecting any money from this.
No, we literally...
And in fact, the reason we chose this medium is because a podcast is because it takes less editing. And we have busy lives.
We're busy boys. I work 2 jobs and he works to college. 2 jobs,
and I work sometimes
and go to college.
But yeah, a few paychecks in the future, you know, maybe I'll say like I'll hit up a few artists that I know and trust. Like there's this one artist that I send pictures of my cat to on Twitter, and the other one who does like other YouTubers that I've seen.
All right. Maybe I'll
and maybe the price will go down like a little bit because I've already done like all the layouts and color palettes, but probably not.
Probably not.
But
we'll see.
It'll be a complete.
But whatever. It's the first episode, so since it is the first episode, I figured we
talk about our favorite movie or question time.
Q&A.
So, what is your favorite movie, Griffin? Favorite movie in general, any movie.
You know, this sounds like a very... So I should put this out there. Very big stickler when it comes to movies. You can ask him.
Yeah.
I'm very critical.
He means he watches IHE and YMS.
I have seen every Best Picture nominee this year, Mr. Trevathan. Every last one of them, except for... What is it? Perfect Dark? Or not Perfect Dark. That's the game. Perfect... What's the fucking...
3 Billboards Outside.
No, I've seen that.
I want to see that one.
That's a good one. What did I not see? Perfect Hour? No, that's Darkest Hour. Whichever one starts with perfect. I haven't seen that
Pitch
one.
Perfect.
But yes, but that's actually wrong because I did see Pitch Perfect.
Oh, all right. Well,
sadly, I did. But if you asked me for my favorite movie, there's like a list of them. Some of them would include the Back to the Future films. I love those. I also enjoy 3.
I've seen the first one.
They're good movies.
I want to see the others. I didn't mean like I saw the first one and I was like, I don't want to see the others.
The second one is debatably better. It's a big debate of which one's better, the first or second one. But I think the second one does hold up. Third one, everyone kind of agrees it's like the Last Jedi version of the Back to the Future trilogy. But I like the Western style that it has. I'll give it that. But if you had to ask me for other films I like...
He likes Baby Driver.
I do like Baby Driver. That's one of my favorite films of this year.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. There's also... I also am a big fan of Forrest Gump. That's probably...
Forrest Gump is a great movie.
Forrest Gump is probably one of my favorite films.
Forrest Gump
I've seen that movie so many times. I love it.
Forrest Gump is a movie that, like, if you see it on TV, you're obligated to watch it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't decide to start watching in the middle, which you can.
You can't. Like, Forrest Gump is a movie you can just jump in.
But, like, if you see it on the schedule, you gotta be like, oh, I gotta look up other showings, record the next one.
Yeah. What about you, buddy?
My favorite movies... I can't really think of any specific movies right now, but I can... Because, like, earlier today, I was chatting with people about Marvel movies, and I was like...
Oh, no. We got a normie in the house, everyone!
I never
Close
said...
it down! He's a Pokemon fan and a Marvel fan!
I never said I was a Marvel fan.
I know, but I feel like that's what
I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I'm not a Marvel fan.
You are a Spider-Man fan.
That hasn't seen Homecoming yet.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't go to see it because I was like, I'm tired of Marvel movies.
I think...
And then I heard from, like, everyone I know that it's really good.
I would agree with you and say that...
And I heard Harry Osborn's in it.
He is in it.
I'd like to see it. But I heard they got Flash Thompson really wrong.
Wait, Harry Osborn's not in the... No, he's not in that one.
You sure?
No.
I was told he was.
No, he's not. Not even in After Christ Scene. He's not in that movie.
Well, I heard they got Flash Thompson wrong.
Which one's Flash Thompson?
He's supposed to be the big blonde jock, but instead in the movie he's like a little nerd, I think.
Yeah, Flash is like... He's this fucking... it makes sense because he goes to a school for nerds. It makes sense in his, like, background.
What school do they go to? Like, Horizon High or Middleton?
Oh, God, I don't remember. It was, like, some Science Academy-based school. He goes there.
Osborne Academy?
No.
Okay. And it's probably Horizon.
Yeah. I think it is Horizon. But either way, they go to like this nerdy based school, so it makes sense for him to be a nerd. He was actually, I don't think I have a problem with him, honestly.
All right, well.
But if you do ever get the chance, I recommend you see Spider-Man Homecoming, because it's probably the best portrayal of Spider-Man. Not my favorite, though. I think Spider-Man...
Andrew Garfield is your favorite.
How dare you? I would say Spider-Man 2, not amazing. Spider-Man 2, fuck off. Spider-Man 2 is my favorite of the Spider-Man films.
What's the director's name again? The
Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi trilogy.
Yeah. But
I mean, obviously you don't mean Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No.
I mean, that's obvious.
No.
That is easily inferred.
The only people that like that are dummies.
But I think my favorite movie is probably Secret of Kells.
Never heard of it.
It's a Academy Award winning Irish animated film.
Did that come out recently?
No, it came out in like 2008 or 9.
Oh.
It's all beautifully drawn, as though like it's called Secret of Kells because it's inspired by the Book of Kells, which is like a very, very fancy Bible that the Irish wrote and drew, and the art is very, very beautiful, and the whole movie is drawn in the style of the book, and so it's really nice. It's
That's
really
cool.
Pretty. It's really pretty. You should watch it.
Now, if you were to ask me my favorite anime movie, Your Name, number one.
Your Name is also really good.
It's amazing. Watch it.
I don't think we need to tell the internet that Your Name is amazing.
You're right.
But then again, assuming we're sending this to mostly our friends and family, you should check out Your Name.
You should check out Your Name, Tucker, even though you've already seen it. Tucker is our friend. He might appear on the podcast one time, but he will probably hate it every second of it. Because he doesn't play Pokemon. Speaking of Pokemon, we've been chatting for 12 minutes. We barely even touched on Pokemon, damn it.
Yeah.
So,
favorite Pokemon movie?
Yeah, we talked about movies, so let's talk about our favorite Pokemon movie.
For me, it's between Lucario and the Mystery Mew and I Choose You.
Okay. See,
Darkrai and 3 tie for second.
So, before the 20th movie, we tried to do a whole marathon. We watched quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Few of them are favorites. Few of them are least favorites. But we did,
Genesect.
we never watched Genesect, did we? We know Genesect.
Actually, we didn't.
But Genesect's our least favorite, though, I would say. But my favorite, I have to agree with you on Lucario and the Mystery of Mew.
And Rise of Darkrai, though, for you.
Yeah, Rise of Darkrai. I don't know what it is about that movie. Maybe it was because it was like one of the first few Pokemon films I saw as a kid. Keep in mind, I got into the games before I did the movies. We'll talk about how we got into Pokemon later. But there was like one of the first few Pokemon films I saw, and I had attachment to it. But I like how it kind of set up a world for
Yeah.
It
set up the trilogy.
It set up a cool trilogy idea. I wonder, I don't know why Pokemon hasn't done something like that.
Well, it looks like they're doing it again.
Are they?
Yeah, well, because in the new movie trailer, the 21st movie, I think, they advertise it with like Ash from the 20th movie's hat. And so since the 20th movie had Ho-Oh in it, it's looking very much like in the trailer that Lugia is going to be a part of it. And so it looks kind of like Marshadow is to Ho-Oh as Zeraora is to Lugia.
Okay.
Because Zeraora is like the thunderclap Pokemon, so like lightning, and Lugia causes storms.
I see. Well, then what's the fucking third one in that trilogy gonna be?
Don't know.
Would it be
It'd probably be a new Switch Pokemon or whatever.
Probably. But if I had to pick my favorite, it'd probably be Lucario, because I rewatched that, then rewatched.
I can still rewatch that movie, even with like the 4Kids dubbing and everything.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Darkrai used to be my favorite, but then I rewatched because it's been like 4 years since.
Them all.
It's been 4 years since I rewatched them all and like had my critical eye at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And like rewatching Lucario, there are great moments where they will take where they'll like change. They have like musical changes. Like the music was so much more different in Lucario than any other film.
Yeah.
And then like the themes of the film are there are very
yeah, they are there.
They are there. They were not dark, but you get what I mean.
There are stakes.
There are stakes. The conflict isn't some fuckhead. Oh yeah, that's another thing. There's no villain.
Yeah,
which I love.
We've established that the best Pokemon movies are ones without villains.
Yes, that is why I also really enjoy Darkrai, because it has what I like to call
a conflict but not a villain.
It's a conflict but not a villain. But they have a character in the movie, Baron Alberto, a legend. He is a character who is basically a joke on those villains, which I love, because every time they
who gives a shit about
Lawrence the fucking third? No, who was the fucker? Oh, I think I was the one that was on this train, but I said that the worst villain was who's the fucking sea captain?
Oh, the Phantom?
The Phantom. I said I didn't even remember this guy.
I love the Phantom. He's so cool and
no.
goofy.
In my opinion, the Phantom is not Archie from Team Aqua.
You think Archie acts at all like that, man?
They both look like pirates. New Archie would act like that guy.
So you're assuming because they look like pirates, they must act alike?
Yes.
Well, yeah, actually, in children's medium, that is
pretty common. What was Archie like in the anime? Was he even in the anime?
He was.
What did he act like?
I didn't see that part. All I know is that at some point Pikachu grabbed the blue orb and he got possessed, and then he got like Kyogre markings.
Oh yeah, and then Ash became evil, and I see that in every Pokemon.
That wasn't in the same episode.
It was in the same
Ash
season.
Ash got evil. No, Ash got evil in the Battle Frontier saga, and Pikachu got possessed in the Advanced series. All right. So, anyways, after getting really passionate about that,
about Pokemon movies.
About my favorite Pokemon AMVs, let's talk about our favorite Pokemon video games.
Oh boy.
And I don't want to say that it's because it's my first game, but I really like Pokemon Emerald. I really like Pokemon Black and White 2 for like, I think it's my personal favorite, just because of like, it gives me that Saturday morning feeling, you know, like it's got a fun story, and the selection of Pokemon is really nice. It hits that good 300 where it's like, it's not all returning Pokemon, but like most of them you see are the Unova ones, and it was my first Gen 5 game, so I was really happy with that. And it just hits that good balance. And then Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I think probably like gameplay wise is more of my favorite, because of like they managed to scale the difficulty and make the experience shared not overpowered. Like they scaled the levels to it, and it was, I think like my favorite Pokemon game is like a combination of all of those and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
All right.
Which has like, you know, it has the difficulty, it has the lull edgy Shadow Lugia. It has the you know, that Saturday morning feeling. My favorite Pokemon game is probably a mishmash of all of those.
I feel you. Like when it comes to my favorites, it's all like it fluctuates a lot. Like it changes. Like for like I would say, like a lot of people always say like, oh, the Pokemon GameCube games are some of my favorites, and like I agree with those. Those are fine games. But like if we're talking main series here, I would like. Might be. Would you say it's a controversial pick to like Black and White probably the most?
No.
Maybe a while ago.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe
because a lot of people say, oh, it's between Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Black 2 and White 2.
Yeah. Well, I love Heart Gold, Soul Silver. You have a different opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver is probably in my top 3, definitely. It's to me, Heart Gold, Soul Silver has just convenience, so much convenience, and like people always say, oh, the convenience of Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Moon was great with the fact
quality of life changes. You mean
like having the save button just be a button on the console?
That is actually like a crazy good addition.
Okay, but you can't tell me that a crazy good addition is just being able to toggle on and off the run button.
I disagree.
What?
I'm not a fan of it.
I
like having full control of my character at all times, which is why I don't like stuff like the roller skates in X and Y or the auto run button. Granted, you can toggle it, which is nice.
Yeah, like you can toggle it.
I don't
like for me, like that's why I'm glad it's a toggle function, not like
in an RPG. I don't ever want to sacrifice a kind of movement option in that way. Like getting on the bike and sacrificing precisely getting in the Pokemon Center doors is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, they kind of fixed that in Sun and Moon with pressing A to enter doors, but like in Black and White, you know, you're gonna miss the door a few times.
You're gonna miss the door.
But Black and like, but like in terms of like control, I think Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire did it really well, and I just don't like an auto run button.
I like it. I also like the function of running with your Pokemon. Everyone likes that though, and like it was just a cool thing to see, especially for all the Pokemon that they had. Like you could walk with Dialga and stuff, like with Pokemon like Dialga. That was cool to me.
And Wailord.
Yes, and Wailord on the land. The one sad thing about that is I don't really know how it could ever come back, because I mean I think it'd come back on the Switch, which we'll kind of talk about later here. But
I think you're off topic.
I am off topic.
Your favorite games are Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Heart Gold, Soul Silver is in my top 3. Another one's gonna be Black and White. I think that's become my favorite game lately. It fluctuates. Like it depends on which game I played recently.
Yeah.
I love Black and White a lot. I don't know why. I love the story. I love the character camaraderie you have in that game. People always say those stories kind of lame. And I liked it up to the end. I like the questions it asked and the questions it raised. It's not a perfect story, but I think N's probably one of the best characters written in a Pokemon game to date.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I think he's just husbando bait for young girls.
And your boy here, N, hit me up. But and I also agree Black and White 2 is really good. I do miss one thing that Black and White 2, it might be a little bit of a weird thing to say, but I kind of missed how it was just all 150 original Pokemon for Black and White. I admire what they did.
I'd really like that again.
I really like to have like a whole nother just straight up.
Like I said I praised Black 2 and White 2 for its Pokemon selection and being like a good mixture. But like I want either a good mixture or all new.
Unlike X and Y.
Well, and Sun and Moon was like a step up in terms of like variety, but like still, if you look at the Pokédex, it's like, wow, sure are a lot of Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah, a lot of Kanto Alolan forms, really. And also, Black and White was interesting because they didn't have any real gimmicks at that point. Still, it still felt like six gen was like the point where I was like, all right, we're getting a little out of hand with the gimmicks. Like that was when they started introducing gimmicks. Black and White 2 kind of set that precedent with Fusion.
That was one Pokemon.
But again, like it was one Pokemon, mind you. The gimmick, I think, like every generation kind of had its gimmicks. Like Gen 4 was like forms. Gen 3 was
Platinum was forms.
Platinum
Gen
was
4 did not.
Yeah, but
like not really.
Black and White,
Wormadam, but they didn't have.
Black White at its base didn't have any real gimmicks to its
besides its selection.
Besides its selection being like a reboot of this, or like a
soft reboot.
A soft reboot on the series. That was its main gimmick, and I appreciate for what it attempted to do. It wasn't fully successful, but I think it somewhat worked.
All right. So next topic. What's your least favorite Pokemon game?
Least favorite Pokemon game.
I'm joking. That wasn't in the notes. I just know that
you threw me for a
he
loop
wants
there.
we're gonna have a whole podcast where we all talk about Pokemon X and Y, Griffin's least favorite game.
The worst game created by Game Freak ever.
And then
it's worse than there's a
Diamond
game.
and Pearl.
No, there's a game that they made before Pokemon even took off. Bisharp is like a reference to that game.
Pulseman?
Pulseman.
You think Pulseman is bad?
Worse than Pulseman. No, I don't think Pulseman is bad.
Pulseman is more of like a Rotom character.
I don't know.
Like that's what Rotom's based on.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well.
And Pikachu's signature move Volt Tackle is taken from Pulseman's signature move Voltecker.
Oh. Well, there you go. But yes, X and Y is my least favorite Pokemon game. I think it is a big pile of horse shit, and we will be spending an entire podcast where I will mostly just be ranting about how it is just terrible.
Okay.
How about you?
We'll talk about it.
You'll talk about it? You want to talk about yours later?
So what is your... Well, my least favorite's Diamond and Pearl.
Really?
Yeah.
I think your reasons for hating Diamond and Pearl, though, are probably going to be the same reasons I really hate X and Y, though.
Yeah. So let's talk about our favorite Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon is obviously like Surskit, as seen in the picture.
Yes.
Togedemaru, and Swampert, Glalie, Sableye, and Swadloon. Those are like my top faves.
Swadloon, really?
Yeah, Swadloon, because he's cute.
I'm trying to think.
I made a top Reddit post once that was.
Oh, right, Swadloon. I thought you were talking about Swablu. I was like, Swablu?
Swablu's cute.
I've never heard you once talk about Swablu.
Swadloon.
Swadloon is the little
bug grass type.
Yeah.
I tried to make him work in competitive, because its defenses actually don't change when it evolves into Leavanny. So it has the defenses of a fully evolved Pokemon. It's like 80, 90 or something.
Really?
So if you give it an Eviolite, it becomes super bulky. But it's bug grass type, so it takes 4 times damage from fire and flying. So the way I tried to work around that was breed camouflage onto it from a Mothim parent. And it's very situational, but...
It works.
Yeah, somewhat.
But if we're talking favorite Pokemon, you can see on the desk my boy Poipole. That's not my number one. My number one's going to be the Venusaur line.
Yeah, here's a picture of all of Griffin's Venusaur memorabilia. Yeah,
it's all up on my fucking shelf here. But yeah, Venusaur is, like, to me, is like what I think of when I think of a Pokemon. The next person's going to be Poipole.
Well, Griffin, here's the real test. Do you know your favorite? Do you know Venusaur's name in Japanese? And if you don't, is he really your favorite? Do you at least know Bulbasaur? I know that one.
Is it sad that I know Charizard's Japanese name more than Venusaur's?
Because that's in Smash Brothers.
You're right. Lizardon. And then fucking Blastoise in Japanese is Comex.
Do you?
I don't know Venusaur's.
All right. Well, he's not a dinosaur, canonically.
He's not a dinosaur. He's a frog.
Yeah. No. He's not even a frog.
What is he?
He's a mystery. So like their names are always like Bulbasaur is Fushigi Dane, which means like mystery plant.
Right.
And so he's like is he plant? Is he animal? I don't know.
He's cabbage.
Surskit, however, is Ametama.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what Poipole's is.
It's probably just Poipole because it's a legend or something. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Fact check it.
Because I think aren't all Ultra Beasts different from their Japanese names?
I think a few are, but like Nile goes basically the same. Mm-hmm. Like, well, because it's like Latin.
I know Buzzwole has to be different.
But yeah. So your favorites are like Venusaur and Poipole.
Yeah, Poipole. The Minun Plusle, specifically Minun, because I love blue and yellow color schemes.
And he played Pokemon Ranger as a boy.
Oh yeah, because I played Pokemon Ranger as a boy, and I am a boy, so I played as the boy character who had a Minun. And you have Togedemaru as your Pikachu clone, love, but mine's Minun.
Yeah.
He was like the first real Pikachu clone aside from Pichu or Meryl, but I don't even really count.
Pichu and Meryl don't really count.
Yeah, I was about to say don't really count. Pika Blue.
So
then you also have Gliscor for the coolest design in my opinion, and then you have Munchlax because he's a mini me.
He's cute.
He's a mini me, fat and lazy. I'm not really fat though. He likes to eat though.
You just got some Coke Zero though, so
I did.
Yeah.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
You just got some refreshing Coke Zero.
At least I'm not like MatPat who drinks Diet Coke.
We'll get to that. So I have listed in my notes no favorite Pokemon,
well, I wrote
which means what's your least favorite Pokemon?
Well,
we've already said his name.
Lizardon is my least favorite. You might think
Charizard.
You might think that's a fucking blasphemous statement. Fuck Charizard.
Griffin, you're such a contrarian. You're only disliking things because they're popular.
You're absolutely right, Brendan. Thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program where I rant about Charizard. Charizard's fucking stupid.
And you think...
To me, Charizard is the young child of Game Freak who gets whatever the fuck he wants. All he has to say, Daddy, I want 2 Mega Evolutions. And they'll say, of course, my son.
We were reserving that for only one legendary Pokemon, but you know what?
You know what? It's okay. We don't want Mewtwo to have all the love. Daddy, I want to come back in the anime in Black and White Saga. Why? You weren't even mentioned in Black and White. I don't care. I want to come back.
Daddy, I want to win a league.
I want to beat that.
But son, you fell asleep last time. I'll stay awake this time.
Daddy, I want to beat an Ash Greninja, a plot element that was introduced and proven to probably win a league. A gimmick. I want to beat a gimmick with another gimmick. But son, that's just stupid. So yes, I think Charizard's a dumb Pokemon and really, really overrated. Stupidly overrated. You could think otherwise. But he's just a spoiled brat of a Pokemon. And I feel like he needs more hate in the world. So I'm the person that subjects all that hate.
You know, there's a new subreddit that might take kindly to your ramblings.
Is there?
It's called Bulbasaur Master Race. And I've actually seen it get linked a bunch of times.
Perfect.
And it's just a bunch of people like you.
Where are my cabbage boys at?
I don't really have a least favorite Pokemon. I like most Pokemon. Like, try to name some Pokemon, and I'll tell you.
Stunfisk.
I think he's cute. I think he's funny. I like that he's a fish that's not water type, diversifying the fish. Unknown. I think it's so cool. You can write them out. You can send little messages to your friends. Did you ever learn how to write and read an Unknown?
I did learn to read an Unknown. I didn't learn how to write.
But
I thought the Unknown were fucking stupid because I wasted my goddamn time as a child checking down every last single one to get jack fucking shit.
Hey, you get a tiny shortcut in Diamond and Pearl.
I'm so happy. I'm trying to think.
I like most Pokemon.
You do. You don't have a very...
Like, I for a while, I didn't like Simisear just because I didn't really like his design, but then I used it in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and I was like, it's pretty cool.
The rest of the world, or the rest of Japan. It's Japan's least popular Pokemon. I do, I'm trying to think of another Pokemon you might like. I thought we talked about one that was like...
I think Tapu Bulu's design's a little busy, but yeah. I like him.
Yeah, I can't really think of any. I can't really I'm thinking of mons that I usually hate.
Most Pokemon just end up growing on me, and I love Wormadam, Burmy, and Mothim.
I was about to bring those fuckers up.
I love them.
All right, I'm gonna give you
the concept. Let me.
I'm gonna give you the worst bug. Ariados.
Ariados isn't the worst bug. It's just got like a stat buff and a new signature move, Toxic Thread. Do you know that?
I'm a poison type lover, and I didn't know that. And
yeah, it has the new signature move, Toxic Thread, and it like poisons your opponent and slows them down.
Give that to more Pokemon, please.
Give it to more spider Pokemon.
As a
like
toxic
Galvantula.
Pokemon player, I would appreciate that.
But I like. Okay, let me explain why I like Wormadam and Mothim. If you learn its origins, you'll have a bit more appreciation of it. So do you know why only male Burmy evolve into Mothim?
No.
So Burmy's based on a specific kind of bagworm and moth where only the males ever mature. They're the only ones that become moths. The females instead stay bagworms. They just get a little bigger as they produce eggs. So they stay there just like hanging from the tree for males to pollinate, and then males to fertilize the eggs, and then the babies will like use the mother's body as like a food source. And so Wormadam, being just like a bigger Burmese, is a representation of bagworms that only mature when they're male.
So moving on from that boring lecture,
like bugs.
So we're both Pokemon fans.
Yeah. How did you get here?
Yeah, how did we get to be Pokemon fans? Do you want to go first? Or you want me?
I really liked Neopets when I was a kid.
Jesus Christ!
Then all of my friends were like, look at Pokemon cards, and I was like, I want that.
How old were you when you got into Pokemon?
I don't know, 2nd or 1st grade.
Okay. See, I got into it,
and then I was like, oh, I should really get into this. So like where I grew up in Ohio, it was like 10 years behind everywhere else. So Pokemon was still the devil.
You told me about this.
Yeah, and like even though the Pope that everyone was currently like, we're a Catholic family, so like even though Pope Benedict had already said Pokemon's really nice, it's based on friendship and a really creative imagination, and everyone was like before he made that statement, everyone was like, ooh, the Pope's gonna bring the hammer down on all these heretics playing Pokemon. And then he was like, no, I like it.
Oh,
and so
sure, it's got evolution involved.
Eventually I was allowed to play Pokemon.
Were you allowed to watch it?
Well, I think
most people either start by watching or start by playing.
My cousin, who gave me most of his old Pokemon stuff from the 90s, gave me a few VHS box sets to watch. But I watched Advanced Generation on Megoozy on Cartoon Network.
I didn't know about
the kids' version of Toonami.
I didn't know that existed until like 2 months ago.
I watched Zatch Bell, but that was actually something I wasn't allowed to watch because that is actual witchcraft. I just got into it because my friends were into it, and like I was the only kid with a Link cable, so everyone appreciated that. Just started playing Emerald, and everyone liked it. And so then I fell out. We should also talk about our falling out of Pokemon.
Oh yeah, everyone has a fallout point, and then we come back.
Black and White was coming out, and we were in middle school. I don't know if we went to the same middle school or not. Probably not.
Oh, we went to Barton, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll kind of bleep that out.
All right.
But yeah, we went to the same middle school, but we never interacted.
But so the thing that I did was Black and White were coming out, like I said, and I was really excited because I was like, whoa, look, it's still on the DS. I don't have to buy a new system for it. And then look, the speech bubbles now have like
exaggeration.
No. The speech bubbles now have like a little pointer to whoever's talking, like an actual speech bubble. I remember thinking that was the coolest thing in the universe. And then like I remember seeing like the battle system show off where they showed Entei moving around, and I was like, what? They can do that?
Yeah.
And then so I ended up like printing out on our black and white ink printer pictures and screenshots to bring to middle school to show to all the other kids and say, look, they have speech bubbles now. And everyone would be like, that's all right. And I'd throw away the paper at the end of the day.
This is an age before we had like smartphones. We're in like that weird age before smartphones, but also when smartphones were just coming out.
Yeah.
So we're kind of old. Think about it.
We're really not.
We're not. We're not that old.
And then Black and White came out, but I was like, I'm a smart consumer. I'm not gonna get these ones because you know what's gonna happen?
They're gonna release.
They made yellow. They made crystal. They made emerald. They made platinum. They're gonna make a gray version. And like you look it up, and it's like, yeah, they registered the gray trademark. PokemonGray.com redirects to Black and White, and then it was revealed that like that they only registered that so no one else could take it, and they were actually going for sequels. And I was like, all right, well, I'll get these. And I played them.
You begrudgingly said, I'll get these.
I had a fun time leaving marching band practice to hide in a dark room in the band hall to play Pokemon Black 2 and White 2.
I remember seeing you play Black and White 2 in like, was it like early high school?
Yes.
It was like early. I remember
it was
seeing
freshman
it.
year.
See,
and then well, and also like in the middle of freshman year, it was 2013. So, or unless it was sophomore year. Yeah, it was sophomore year. Pokemon X and Y came out on the 3DS, and I was like, I don't have money, so I didn't get a 3DS because they were like $300 at the time, and
see my follow-up story.
So I ended up falling out of it, and then eventually they announced.
Me, but I guess
I'm trying to finish my story. I haven't even gotten back into it.
You haven't gotten back.
And then they announced Smash Brothers for the 3DS, and I was like, I have to get a 3DS now. So I got a cheap 2DS from Nintendo, straight from Nintendo, refurbished. You can get a 2DS for $60 now from that website. The cheapest way to get back into Pokemon. And I got Smash Brothers, and then I scavenged around the house for loose change, ended up with $40. Some kid I used to hang out with asked for change for $40, and I was like, okay, here's a shit ton of change. And so he gave me, dude, he was probably buying drugs. Probably. Like, that's, what else do you need $40 worth of change for? So that was really convenient. And
that's high school for you.
My friend drove me to GameStop. I got Alpha Sapphire because I was like, you know what? My first game was Emerald. I'm going to get back in the Hoenn region. And so I did. It was then I've been stuck ever since.
Good thing you skipped X and Y.
No, I played it eventually.
Yeah, I know. Good thing you skipped it, though.
Didn't think they were that bad. Didn't think they were as bad as you say.
Oh.
I still dislike.
See, I didn't think at the time they were that bad, but now as I grow older.
Well, nobody thinks they were that bad at the time because they were like
brand new.
Not only were they brand new, but they have like
look into it.
Like if you look at the designs of the Pokemon, they're like the highest amount of quality versus quantity. But that's like that again. That's subjective, but like they introduced more social aspects, like the PSS. And
I thought you were talking about the friends, like the people you interact with.
No, everyone was playing X and Y at that time. Everyone was Yeah. I think Pokemon.
What is it like
I think Pokemon is done best as a social experience.
It is.
So
sorry, we made a podcast. It's a social experience.
Of course.
But
we're sharing our experiences with you.
Haha. I get it.
Yeah. All right. So
I guess I'll tell my story. So
when did you get into Pokemon? When you were a little boy?
So when I was 7, a little movie came out. I'm shocked I didn't talk about this during the Pokemon movie section. A little movie came out called Pokemon and Deoxys, or Pokemon
Destiny Deoxys.
Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. I didn't see the full thing, but I saw the ending of it where all the boxes were carrying Ash through a fucking river, and I said, "What the hell is this?" And I was watching it, and then I saw a Minun. I said, "That's adorable. I want one. I want one of those."
So would you say Pikachu or Minun was the first Pokemon you saw?
Minun was I think Minun, either that or was Snorlax.
Oh, because he bounces on him.
Yeah, it was Minun and Snorlax, like the first Pokemon I ever saw. But so I didn't get into the games. I got into the anime, and it took me a while. Like I think I didn't get my first game until the DS.
Mm-hmm.
But surprisingly, the first game I played was not a DS game.
It was a Game Boy Advance game.
It was I had
playing on a DS Lite.
Yes, I had a DS Lite, and I played Fire Red for the first time, and I loved it. Wait, it was either Fire Red, like, whatever. It's either one of those. I played that, and I fell in love with the Pokemon. After that, I immediately played Pearl, and then I got Platinum after that. Then Black and White. I have the exact opposite story of you. I did play Black and White, but Black and White left a sour taste in my mouth as a child because it was too hard. And I beat Platinum as a kid. Let's keep that in mind.
You're the reason X and Y is so easy.
I'm the reason X and Y is so easy. I beat Pearl and Platinum, but I could not beat the Elite Four in Black and White, and I don't know why. And I also didn't like as a kid, I didn't like the fact that none of my favorite favorite Generation 4 Pokemon were in the game. That made me a little angry. So, and also, it was like really convoluted to transfer your Mons at the time. So
it was convoluted, but I had all the means necessary. I still have all the means.
I didn't have the means necessary.
I can transfer. I can transfer right now. Like I can catch an Eevee or like get an Eevee in XD and trade it all the way up to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Well, look at you. But then Black and White 2 was coming out. And around that time, my friends and I just kind of fell out of it. We were just like, Pokemon's for kids, stuff like that. It was when I was turning edgy teenager me back in my middle school days and early high school. I was like, Pokemon's for kids. But then I got back into it, and I was like, and then Pokemon X and Y were being announced. So I was like, holy shit! It's
3D graphics.
3D graphics. Oh my god, is that a frog? Frog
is really cute.
Is that a chipmunk? Is that a firefox? Hey, Ninetales.
Chrome.
Huh?
You said Firefox and I said Chrome.
Oh.
It was the worst joke imaginable. That was just word association.
It was.
You said somewhere and I say, oh, he's like that.
Is it too late to call Tucker to bring him on the podcast?
Yes. Don't bring him up.
But so
is that a joke on his humor? Are you saying that he's not funny?
No. I'm saying we're not funny.
Oh, okay.
Someone will watch this maybe. But then I got with back into X and Y, and then yeah, that was really it.
You've been stuck ever since.
And I've been stuck ever since. I wouldn't say I'm as dedicated as you are. You play other games, but I'm not as.
I don't play many other games.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm not really a gamer.
Here's the weird thing. I got into Pokemon metagaming before X and Y came out. Mm-hmm. Like, I got into it, like, the end stage of Black and White 2.
I didn't get into it until after I was done playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And so, because of that, in, like, my first game, Emerald, I had a Swampert that knew Water Gun in addition to Muddy Water and everything. Simply because I was like, I don't want to waste my Muddy Water on something that'll only take a Water Gun to kill. Which makes somewhat sense because of power points, but
power points don't really matter.
Water gun.
But power points don't even really matter because you have like a team of 6 by the end.
Yeah.
But those are our Pokemon stories, and we're here today making a fucking podcast about it now.
Yeah. So speaking of the podcast, who would you want to guest on the podcast? We already talked about Tucker.
So yeah, Tucker's our good friend. We could probably bring on our good friend. Yeah.
I don't think he knows your name anymore.
Does he not?
Or no, he does. I just I think I remember just saying I remember saying hello and he didn't say anything. Yeah. Or something.
We'll he'd be a fun person.
Censor his name just in case.
Yeah. There's also if we had to pick like people who are in the industry.
In the Pokemon, don't say in the industry. We're not at the leaks section yet. But I'd love to have Verlisify on.
I would agree.
I could see myself actually genuinely becoming friends with him.
I can't.
Just to gimp this podcast already.
Huh?
Just to gimp this podcast already and make it controversial.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about Verlis, not clickbait.
We support Verlis.
I love Good Guy Ghastly. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see. I don't know. It all depends on who would be like most entertaining for like an hour long discussion.
I would like to like one that would be really interesting would be like to get someone who like works with Game Freak or something like that. That'd be a really cool one. Like
James Turner.
Like James Turner, the man who created my favorite boy.
Vanillite.
Yes. I want to meet that guy.
He created Playful.
He created Playful.
For the uninformed.
He also created your boy Blacephalon and Buzzwole.
No, he didn't make Blacephalon.
Did he not?
No.
Oh, I thought he made...
No, he posted pictures of the art scans on his
Twitter. I'm sorry,
like,
James Turner. I didn't mean to disrespect you and your work.
You can tell from the model sheets because James are written in English.
You're right.
But he did Poipole, Buzzwole, the Honedge line,
the Vanillite line,
Mandibuzz and Vullaby, Golett and Golurk.
Really?
Of the ones I can remember.
Okay.
Or I might be wrong about the Aegislash one,
uh-huh.
like doubling them, but like I'm certain about the others. Here's the thing. I just know that Verlis would be able to carry a conversation for that long because he recently did a podcast video that we'll again bring up later. But like, I don't know.
I feel like
how long
at some point
we'd
get into an argument of some kind.
Yeah, but like, he's passionate, and passion's what I'm most into. Like for guest wise, I'd like to see people who J-Wits would be amazing.
J-Wits would be interesting. But like that's like
great.
That'd be like, well, anyone like Sarah B would be interesting.
Joe
to have.
Merrick,
Joe
yes.
Merrick from Sarah B. I don't know. We're just like gonna
Birdkeeper Toby for a theorist one.
We're just gonna start fanboying at this point, which would just be pathetic. But I don't know. Like,
yeah.
If we ever get the chance to talk to certain people, that'd be awesome. If you want a spot on our podcast, at one of us on Twitter.
Some slightly smaller one that I've been watching is Ozzy Mitsu.
Never heard of him.
Well, he's really neat. I gave him some eggs for his egg luck that I'm behind on.
And after doing all these questions, after an hour,
let's get right into the news.
You make fun of me for trying to do a DeFranco meme before we even recorded this.
So we have internets, or U.S. internets, North American internets are in Columbus this year.
Columbus, Ohio.
June 5th and 6th, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, July. Sorry, scratch that. July, after the 4th of July.
We gotta make it.
Well, I think I can.
I'm gonna keep practicing at Pokken so I could just be one of the top 7 that make it to Pokken.
I've got the family up there that's willing to pay for a ticket, I believe, and and it'd be fun spending 4th of July with family, old friends, and maybe play some Pokemon.
Maybe.
Then of course we have Worlds, and Worlds has been announced. Like, they announced the venue for it in Nashville, Tennessee.
It's such a weird place.
We have potential leaks in this one Twitter user, Pixelpar, who's been okay in the past, and he says, he just makes some very regular predictions, like it's going to be cel shaded, it's going to be HD.
Yeah, and they're like he basically predicted what the graphics will be like, and it's like, okay, it sounds like Pokemon.
Yeah, it sounds like what we have upscaled
to HD,
which I'd love.
Which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Now,
there's been a lot of fake leaks.
Fake leaks are around.
I feel like that would be like a whole discussion on its own, but like for right now, I guess we could stick to like.
I don't want to talk about starter leaks because those are obviously.
Well,
not
we're in a phase where it's like, all right, we're done with like all the hype of Sun and Ultra Moon. Everyone's like predicting like, oh, the new Pokemon games are coming out this year. I don't believe that, but we'll get into that later.
But
like fake leak, we're at a time like before E3 even is a thing, and we're like we're in this weird phase where everyone's just like grabbing for something. We're like trying to grab like. Well, look, it's
the worst leak that I've seen. The worst like quote unquote leak that I've seen is stuff like, yeah, they're saying they're changing the battle system. It's gonna be like real time, and I don't know if I'd be able to stomach that.
That'd be a weird change to do all this. I feel like they have to like slowly transition into that as opposed to go straight into it.
I just don't want like that'd be like such a sour taste.
Well, like they've done such a good job at like making the turn-based formula work.
I really don't see why they'd change it.
Like we'll get into all the because we're gonna have a whole Pokemon Switch discussion, like future predictions for the Switch. But for right now, just don't believe everything you see until Game Freak or someone official announces it.
Yeah.
Because we're in a weird phase before E3 and like before PAXs and stuff like that, where they're gonna start announcing new shit. So just hold your pants. Don't get too excited over something. This is just a PSA.
All right. Well, another thing that's come out: Detective Pikachu props have been sighted in London.
What?
We're even late on talking about this.
Are we?
Even as we're recording this.
How late was this?
It was like a week or two ago.
Oh.
But it was basically just you've seen it, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh well,
I'm not good at keeping up with Pokemon news. I gotta
there's
be
a
honest.
big
this
old
is
like
honestly all Brendan.
one of the props people found was like this like big old billboard that has like missing posters of like a Machamp, a Pancham, and a Graveler. That's like, ooh, missing Pokemon.
Glad we're still. Well, I guess Pancham's not a first gen Pokemon.
And then the other one
Has
of the
Ryan Reynolds been seen on set yet?
He's a voice actor, so no.
I know. I'm joking.
I'm they are filming though.
They are filming.
And another.
Who's supposed to be playing like the main character that's not Pikachu?
They've revealed it.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Well, fuck.
And the other prop they found was like this big statue thing for like the police department. It's like it's a big old badge that says like Pokemon people working together, and there's like a Victini in the logo. And
I figured they go with like a rhino, the rhino
and like
statue.
they have like the little shield thing with like an insignia on it. It's got like a little Charizard in one of the corners.
Of course, it's a Charizard.
Well, it's supposed to be like a fire-breathing dragon thing.
Yeah, I get it. Like, it's gonna be so weird when that movie comes out, because like
I think I'm gonna make my mom see it because she loves Ryan Reynolds. Or Ryan Reynolds, but Deadpool. She loves Deadpool.
I love Ryan Reynolds. He's a good actor. He does a good job. I don't know how he's gonna do his Pikachu talking. I mean, the last time Pikachu said words, the goddamn internet lost its mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it when it comes out. Like, I'm still gonna give it a critical eye. Like,
I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it when like trailers start coming out, because a live action Pokemon movie was always like a figment of my imagination.
It'll be interesting to see the public reaction.
Yeah, that's gonna be like people.
People will say like, I thought I was gonna watch a movie with Ash and Pikachu.
Yeah, that's gonna be like. It's
Instead,
so weird that they're
I'm watching
a
movie about a boy and Ryan Reynolds as a rat.
Like, that's the weird part, is like, it's not like an Ash adventure or something like that. It's Detective Pikachu. This is like if they made the Mario movie which is coming out.
No, it's like if
they made the Mario movie and they said, we're gonna do the Kingdom Rabbits.
No. It's like if they were making a Mario movie in the 80s and they were like, actually, let's just make it Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, something like that.
Like a side series.
It'd be weird. It's just like it's gonna. The reaction's gonna be weird. Who's like making the film? Do you know?
Legendary Pictures.
Okay, thank God it's not Sony.
No.
As long as it's not Sony, we're pretty safe.
Hey, Sony has one thing I'm interested in.
What's that?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm just sick of Spider-Man. People are sick of comic books. I'm sick of Spider-Man.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I know you love Spider-Man, but I'm sick of it. What's the year of Legendary Pokemon?
You don't know the year of Legendary Pokemon?
No, I don't.
Every month this year, they're gonna give out a Legendary Pokemon, and like it's like one code. You get one code.
Didn't they already do this?
And depending on what game you redeem it in, you get the opposite version. So, for example, I have Ultra Sun, and I can catch a Dialga in my game. I redeem the code, and I get a Palkia, level 100 with like a golden bottle cap and moves.
Oh.
And then so they're doing that, and like for May they're giving out like Xerneas and Yveltal, and for June they're giving out Shiny Zygarde for everyone.
Okay.
So it's just so that like you don't have to pester me for a good Heatran, and I don't have to pester you for a Regigigas.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it's also a really good way for availability, because like not all kids are gonna buy both versions.
Yeah.
And then be able to find like this is giving kids an opportunity to encounter Rayquaza and Landorus and Suicune. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise it's just not available to them.
Okay.
In fact, actually, I've been when I went into GameStop to get my codes, I made sure I grab an extra one for this kid I'm helping out in Argentina.
Should have grabbed me an extra fucking code, because I didn't know this was happening.
I have one if you want it.
No, I'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
No, I probably won't.
But it's just Dialga Palkia. It's just
whatever.
a Dialga.
Whatever. It's just a Dialga.
But so like I'm helping that kid out, and he's gonna repay me with like a patterned Vivian from Argentina.
Oh.
I'm not sure what pattern that is. I've seen multiple sources say different things, so not sure.
The last bit of news.
The last news update before we take a brief intermission. There was a Pokemon Go update that added like they had a neat trailer with like Masquerain and all that in it. And they also had Rayquaza appearing in raid battles soon.
I heard a little tidbit of news. So I was disappointed to find out that Mine and Plusle were regional exclusives for the game. And then I found out a piece of news is that they are no longer going to be regional exclusive. So
good.
Praise the heavens, my boys are no longer locked to Europe.
Praise be.
Praise be. So that made me a little
Unfortunately, you're still gonna need to take a flight to find your lover, Mr. Mime.
Oh no.
All right, we'll take a break there. All right, hey everybody, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
So remember how we said we were going to talk about game theory?
Remember we were going to make fun of MatPat? We were going to make fun of MatPat for like 20 minutes because he made a Pokemon video. And from recent history, he's never made a good Pokemon video. So we thought, let's just poke fun at it for like 20 minutes.
And we saw it, and it was actually a well-sourced, well-written video with...
actual facts.
Yeah, and, lots of those good numbers, lots of...
I will say this, MatPat works when he's just crunching numbers and bringing up good facts.
He's really good.
He is not good when he's trying to expand lore.
Yeah.
That is overall what I came to the conclusion of this video.
Well, I thought his Pokemon multiverse theory was nice.
Well, that's because that's canon mostly.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't well told in Pokemon itself, so I felt like it was a good thing. What?
If you want a funny MatPat video for Pokemon, just go watch his Deadlock video about Squirtle versus Charmander and how it's...
That is the worst.
That is by far his...
Why are the bars so low?
What do you mean?
Well, like it doesn't look as loud as it normally is.
You sure?
Yeah,
they're about the same size as this.
All right, I'm just commenting on the recording.
We're gonna cut that out probably. Anyways, back to what we were saying. MatPat, good job on the video. I can't believe I'm fucking saying it.
Nice job.
You did a nice job,
It was a well-sourced video. I really liked the.
Quit making shitty, cringy memes though. Stop it.
I think it's fine. I think it's his brand now.
Anyways, moving on from that
let's talk
segment,
about...
Let's get to the big topic at hand.
Pokemon Nintendo Switch.
Woo! Hold on.
I was trying to take out his Joy-Cons.
Hold on. I don't know if you can hear it. I have a Switch.
There it is.
Yeah, future me, play the Switch sound effect. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was pretty close.
All right, don't even need to edit that in.
Don't even need to edit that in. So, Brendan.
We're gonna talk about...
Pokemon Switch predictions.
Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch.
So, we love Pokemon. We like...
Pokemon Up version and Pokemon Down version.
I own a Switch. You're in the market to buy a Switch.
Yeah, I'm like... I have enough gift cards saved up that I can get one... pretty cheap.
And like we said during the news section, a lot of leaks are coming out for this game. And
yeah. So first of all, we're gonna talk about what we would like from Pokemon Switch.
Yeah, we're gonna just things we want to see happen.
Yeah.
And just what our thoughts are going to be for the game itself. So
first, I think what we both want will be different.
Yeah, kind of. We've had predictions, but like we've never really come to an agreement, I guess. So what do you want from a new Pokemon or the new Switch game?
Okay. Now people aren't gonna like what I have to say.
What do you have to say?
But I want to say this is coming from the heart, and I don't want that diva story. I want a Saturday morning cartoon villain. Like from Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Black 2, White 2, they just want to make the world ice or make the world fire or make the world water.
I will agree with you on one factor. Now, we'll talk about stuff we don't want. I don't typically like villains in Pokemon. I think Pokemon villains are dumb. It kind of goes what we were saying.
Well, inherently.
When we were talking about the movies, like...
We're not talking about the movies.
Yeah, well, like back when we were talking about the movies, we were saying like most of the villains in the Pokemon movie are dumb, and that kind of correlates to the games as well. Because in my mind, in Pokemon, you live in a world where it's all about like monsters that There are monsters that can control time. We have the god himself in this world, and instead of having them be the major threat, we need to have some fucker who wants to make the world beautiful, take a Pokemon and cause the conflict. It can't just be the Pokemon itself. It has to be human nature doing it itself.
The theme there is that nature is always in balance, and that humans will throw it out of balance. And that's typically in, like, all kinds of medium, like, especially in the Japanese culture, like Studio Ghibli does that.
Yes, I get that.
Japan in general has a very industrial versus nature feel.
I get that, but, like, does it have to be everyone?
Well, you kind of got that in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where
Necrozma
is an actual malevolent Pokemon.
Let's talk about Team Rocket. To me, now to you say something else. But to me, Team Rocket is, we want money to take over the world. You kind of just say it's take over the world plot. To me, it's we want money. That's our goal. In order to achieve that goal, they do a lot of different things, like stealing the Silph Scope to hunt down ghost-type Pokemon, which are kind of rare in Gen 1. Or stealing the Master Ball, which is a Pokeball that can catch literally anything. You'd think you'd want that to catch rare Pokemon to sell off. Or finding fossils in caves to sell off rare ancient Pokemon to sell off for money. Or creating a perfect clone of the
rarest Pokemon.
The rarest Pokemon ever, Mew, to sell off to make money. That's what Team Rocket's goal is. And I like that. I like it's simple. It's easy to follow. You can, and like at the base of it, it doesn't make much sense. But when you put thought into it and when you look at it with all the pieces, it makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I just think it's not. I think it's simple because it had to be, but I wasn't really. I'm not as interested because, like, I don't feel like the stakes are high enough.
That's true.
Well, they're high for like a 10-year-old invading like a criminal syndicate, but it's not like a.
But like there was never like a, like the like if you're gonna do a villain, make them the conflict.
Yeah,
you
appreciate the simplicity.
Like if you're gonna make a villain, make them the conflict. Don't make the Pokemon that they bring out from the world of conflict after you introduce the villain. You know what I mean? Like you can either have one or the other. A Pokemon that causes the conflict or a human that causes the conflict. Not a human that causes the Pokemon to cause the conflict. It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah. Well, where were you going with that?
I don't know. You were talking about how you want a cartoony Saturday morning cartoon villain.
Lysander was honestly close enough for me, but then, like, had his plan been something completely different, like, I don't know what it would be, because the Pokemon of that generation, the whole theme was life and death and everything. But I think if his plan had been to make the Earth like the sun, I would have enjoyed it more. I would have enjoyed him more. Because he looks like a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
He
and
does.
I love his design.
That's half the characters, though, let's be fair. Half the characters in X and Y were designed to be anime characters.
And I like that.
But
so ideally for me, story-wise, I would just want something simple, cartoony, and fun.
See, I agree with you.
I don't want some deepest lore like, oh, this game takes place in between, like, before the games even started, before Red and Blue, and it's the war that Lieutenant Surge was in, and the Johto region versus the Kanto region.
Well, okay, the reason you go with this is because you are definitely you are less of a story person than I am.
No, I love
you love lore, but like you are more you are more of a fan of a simplistic story, and I am too. I like it. Like I love.
Would you say Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are a simplistic story though?
Because it has that family ties thing.
Like the Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are character-driven stories.
Yeah.
So that's why I appreciate. That's why I think like a Saturday morning cartoon thing would be more interesting, because they don't need to focus on the practicality of the plan. They can focus
Black and
on
White
the characters.
Black and White 2 came close to what you're thinking of, because it
exactly.
was Team Plasma's plan was, we're gonna freeze the Earth. Like the original in Black and White, it was
we're gonna freeze the Earth so everyone has to obey.
In Black and White, it was like, we want to liberate all Pokemon.
It was gun control.
For the good of Pokemon. But then it turns out, no, we really just want to take over the world. And then once that comes out, it's like, yeah, fuck it, we're fucking terrorists. We're gonna fucking freeze the earth. Fuck it. And then you have Colress shoved in there to make it deep.
Colress wasn't shoved in there to make it deep. Gets us an N-word.
N was fuck off. N was a good character in Black and White. In Black and White 2, he's barely in it. I like him.
All right, well.
And then they're like.
So what level of storytelling do you want? Like I
like simplistic stories. However, I want a story that you kind of make for yourself. I think you can kind of agree with me here. We're sick of being 12-year-olds who just travel across the land in one path.
I'm not sick of that.
Okay,
I think it makes it easier to tell a story.
Sure, but I would like to choose the way I go. I don't like how it's always
open world Pokemon, all the regions.
No, I don't want open world Pokemon. I want yes, I kind of want open world, but I don't want it to be like Zelda open world. I'm talking like you can go to this fucker who is if like let's say we took a normal Pokemon, like let's take Gen 1 for example. Instead of taking on Brock first, you can go take on Blaine first if you want. If you instead of taking on Blaine first, you can fuck it, go all the way.
I think you're confusing. I think you're confusing open world with just having choices.
Yes, I want more choices. Basically.
A lot of people have been doing that, and I'm like, have you played Pixelmon? It's not as fun as Pokemon.
Is that how Pixelmon works?
Yeah, or it's basically like. It's just Minecraft, but sometimes you see Pokemon in the wild. You right-click on them.
Well, I'm not saying I want, like...
Pokemon roaming in the wild.
No, I don't want that. That's...
I fully want just random encounters in the tall grass.
Yes.
And the
I would like...
grass that attacks
you. If they do Pokemon in the overworld, I would... If they do Pokemon in the overworld, two things. One, you could not... You can make it a toggleable functionality, but you cannot skip out on walking with Pokemon at that point. You can't.
No.
If you do it like that, you cannot skip out on walking with Pokemon at that point. And the other thing is, if you do have Pokemon like up in the wild, like live encounters, you have to bring the sneak mechanic back.
I don't think they will have them walking in the overworld.
No, I doubt they will, but if they do, you have to have those two things. You have to bring those two things back specifically.
The only reason we're really talking about that is because a bunch of 14-year-olds ask for it.
Yeah, but like it's a fun idea, but it wouldn't work for Pokemon, I think.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a JRPG where you just walk around and a random encounter happens.
Yeah, like speaking of JRPG, we should touch on like how I guess you kind of want the battle system to work. Because everyone says, oh, I don't want turn-based anymore. I want
it to be Pokken. I want it to be Pokepark.
I would like a mini-game similar to Pokken, perhaps. Where you fight in that same regard. But I do not want that to be the battle system. Because here's the thing. Pokken is already challenging enough with its combos. And like if you have to learn combos for like 4 different moves, that'd be just kind of annoying. And also, like... Again, we said earlier in the podcast, we talked about how like it would be a weird transition to just do on the next game. I would like for them to do something different, but I'll touch on that in a little bit. But like, I don't want them to leave the turn-based system that we've come to have at this point. I would like more action in the turn-based combat. I would like
what
more...
you mean like Mario and Luigi where you press inputs?
Yes.
Like quick time events?
I
do not want that.
No, I'm not saying quick time events. I'm saying like the Pokemon move around more in the battle as opposed to just standing in one spot on the screen and then occasionally moving their bodies when they perform an attack.
You mean like a Pokemon Battle Revolution stuff? Where if they're using a physical attack, you get a shot of them running towards the other Pokemon and hitting them.
Sure, that, and also like even when they're like when you're selecting a move, they're doing more.
I want there to be an animation for a move missing.
Yes, I want that.
Yes.
Would it be too far of a stretch to say I want a dodging ability?
Where if you're slower, you can choose to sacrifice using a move to dodge.
Yes. Or if you're faster, you could sacrifice using a move to dodge. I would like that because that would add something new to the game and maybe even the meta game.
Well, I think for slower Pokemon, it would be advantageous because then you're not always just losing because you're slow.
It would make double battles a lot more interesting.
Oh yeah, it'd make VGC very interesting.
I would like if they add like one thing to change the battle system. I would like to see that, like a dodge mechanic or like a Mario and Luigi kind of like counterattack mechanic. Maybe not a counterattack exactly, but like you get what I mean.
I really don't want I don't want it to turn into a battle system like PokePark Wii or Pokken.
No, I don't want like real time event.
Have you played PokePark Wii?
I have not. I played a lot of Pokken.
It's like Pokken beta.
Ugh.
You only play as Pikachu, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the controls are bad, but it's basically like you're just controlling Pikachu and running around and shocking things. The controls are really bad because you can only play with the Wii Remote sideways, and you need to move your thumb away from the D-pad to hold the A to use Thunderbolt and let go to use it, but you also want to move while you're doing it, and you need to shake the Wii Remote to use Iron Tail, and it's not intuitive. Ugh. It sometimes doesn't work.
No. No, it's on the Wii.
You press 1 to quick attack and charge into them.
Yeah.
But like that's not what I want. I still want it to be turn based.
I want turn based, and it's like
I still want it to be like that.
I would like them to shake it up a bit, make it like again add like a new mechanic, not Z moves, not a fifth move. Maybe the dodge mechanic could work, but I want them to at least spice it up to be something like change it up a bit. You know, like we've had the same kind of battle system for 20 years now, and I feel like you could change something, like add like double battles was a huge mechanic that made the meta game for VGC.
Mm-hmm.
So like don't introduce a gimmicky new battle mechanic that you're gonna get rid of the next generation. Make something I want Game Freak to make something that they know is gonna stick, that they want to stick around for every generation to come. That's what I want from like battle interfaces and shit like that.
What I think they might do is some cool stuff with the Joy-Cons specifically for battles, where like you could activate Z moves by doing the dance instead of just hitting the button. Maybe
that would be a good interaction thing. I was about to say we can't. Well, here's the deal. We can't really do motion controls because then competitive's gonna be fucking dumb to watch.
Like arms.
Oh god. Well, you could use a controller for arms.
Yeah.
So
but then you're not as good.
Then you're not as good.
You can't curve your...
But like we don't want it to be like, because you have to keep in mind Pokemon's still probably gonna build this around their competitive scene a little bit.
Yes.
So they're not.
They have definitely been getting.
They're not gonna do a whole lot of motion control based stuff. They're not gonna do a whole lot of, like switch gimmicks themselves. They might do a few that are in game, not in battle.
I think they'll just be extra little bits, like just doing that instead of doing a Z move animation. Yeah. Instead of just clicking the button. It's their first console game. They're not gonna do anything crazy with it.
Here's the one thing.
Masuda considers having trials instead of gyms a massive shakeup for the.
That is a massive shakeup.
It is not. Well, you do something to get something that lets Pokemon obey you.
The system is different, or like yes, the battle system is different. But the mechanics, or like the base mechanics of like you get a gym badge, it's still there.
Like he considered that like a massive change, and it's not really that different. And since he's likely directing this game, I expect it to be just like
it's gonna be gyms again.
I expect the return of the gym format, but I expect it to be like.
Here's the thing though, is like how are we gonna do Z crystals? Because Z crystals are.
I think they're gonna be post game trials.
Probably either that trials. Or they're gonna be like podiums all around the region for you to find.
All around the post game region, like the Battle Zone and Diamond and Pearl.
Post game? Oh no!
Like I think Z crystals are gonna be locked to post game, and I don't think
there's gonna be. I'd like
a Mega Stone
quest,
like hunting quests like in X and Y, but not locked to one specific hour.
Like
once you beat the post game, because I think that'd be fun.
Are there going to be exclusives for this game?
We don't even know if they're making 2 games or 1.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, are they gonna have 2 or 1 game? Because the thing is,
I think something they could do was...
I don't think they can get rid of the 2 games thing, because that was like the game. That's what it was like founded on.
And that's how you encourage trading.
Yeah, it's how you encourage trading. So I don't.
Here's my darkest universe idea.
Oh god.
In the darkest universe, Game Freak is like, let's make 1 game and then have the version exclusives be determined randomly when you start it up.
Oh no.
That would...
one thing I want. Game Freak. It's been 20 years. 20 fucking years. More than 1 save file.
I do not.
Really?
Yes.
I'm sick of only having 1 save file.
I think
okay. Because let's think about it this way. Our friend Tucker.
Yes.
He wanted to play X and Y. And I was okay with getting rid of my X and Y save file, mind you. However, he didn't he wanted to have to go through the whole struggle. Okay, one thing I'll say. At least make deleting the original save file easier.
It's not hard. You just need to press a button combo at the start screen and delete it.
It's not hard. You got to do a fucking fight You got to do a fight combo in order to delete the save file.
Would you prefer the old system where you say, "Here you go, little sister, play on my game," and she deletes your save file?
That's why we need multiple save files. Point there. So I can let my baby sister...
So you want it easier to delete save files instead?
I want either easier to delete save files or multiple.
It's already super easy. Just press a button combo and then it's done. And it's like, are you sure?
The main point I'm trying to say is I want multiple save files. The deleting save files thing should come with that.
I think multiple save files would just be stupid and diminish. Well,
because think of it this way:
it would diminish the need to trade, because you could just pokebank your starter 3 times and have all of them.
You can do that anyways.
Yeah, but it's like much harder.
No, it's not.
Yes,
in fact, it's easier.
Instead of starting up a new game.
Yes.
Griffin.
Brendan.
What?
Let's take for example. When I played Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I wanted to do like a Wonderlock, but I didn't want to delete all my mons. Well, I can't just... I do want a power save, mind you, and you always say just use your power save. But I would like to keep my old save file so I can have that. I don't want to have to go buy a whole nother fucking game just so I can relive a game once again in a different fashion.
I think
any other game would allow you to have multiple save files.
Would be like a new game plus.
Pokemon, I think, is the only stickler on multiple save files.
I could see them doing it, but I don't know how well it would turn out. Is what I'm saying.
It would be fine. It would be the same thing as starting up a new game, transferring a starter to either your friend or Pokebank, taking that starter back, and then doing that 3 times over, and then bringing it all to one game. It'd be the same fucking thing, except you can do it through multiple save files instead of just one.
Yeah.
So I don't see what the difference would be.
I don't know. I'm just.
What don't you get about it?
I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
I'm scared.
Sure. Okay. The one thing I could see it maybe doing is making it easier to hack. Maybe.
I don't know. That doesn't make it easier to hack.
I don't know.
Having multiple saves doesn't.
Like any other RPG has multiple save files. Any other one. Pokemon is like one of the few games out there is this huge stickler on having multiple save files, and I'm sick of it. Rant over.
Sick and tired.
I'm sick and tired of it. Moving on. What else? What else do you want from Pokemon?
You're like, whatever. Moving on.
Well, I've made my point clear. I just want multiple save files for once.
So with the return of the gym challenge, like I said, I want a post game little like area, like the like they're gonna do a post game area, but I mean something like the battle zone, where there's like it's a whole different biome area, where like maybe there's a greenhouse where if you go in there, you can evolve your Exeggutor into a Alolan Exeggutor, you know, or execute, you know, just like a little area where Alolan forms are possible. I want like, I'm not gonna say Battle Frontier because everybody wants that. I want more cool stuff like that, more stuff to discover in the post game as opposed to a couple routes in Generation 7 and one city in X and Y.
I just want a post game. Like, let's X or Gold and Silver / Heart Gold Soul Silver. It's a perfect thing when I think of the best post game. You might disagree. But that's what I think of when it comes to the perfect post game. Now, I'm not saying they have to give me a whole region to explore. I'm not saying that. But the amount of legendaries you can catch in that game, the amount
You want to talk about amount of legends.
Well, okay.
You need to talk to Auras and Musum.
Yes, I do. But like battle rematches with gym leaders, that was a thing you could do in in Heart Gold Soul Silver.
See, that's why I'm not sure why you don't like Black 2 and White 2.
I do like Black 2 and White 2.
The whole Pokemon World Tournament thing.
Yeah, the Pokemon World Tournament thing is cool.
Fantastic.
It's great. But like, I don't know. Like, what else is in Black and White 2's post game? I can't think.
There's a few cities that you weren't allowed to pass through beforehand.
That's true. There is
There's
the
even
Black City and
go
the
to Route 1.
Yes, Black City and the White Forest.
Oh, and the Black Tower White Tree, where you need to get all the way to the top, and then you get awarded Shiny Gibble or Shiny Dratini.
And then there's the Shiny Haxorus quest.
Yes, that is like my favorite. Actually, I that's another thing I want. I want cool shit like that where, like in the post game, they say, "Hey, we can take you to this rare island." And supposedly there's some really cool rare Pokemon there, and you go there and you can find like maybe a Pokemon that's only found there, or like the Shiny Haxorus or something.
I do want
the nature reserve is really cool.
Yeah.
And another thing, okay, I want the events to be streamlined, much in the way of Generation 3 and 4. Where they
give you an item and you go to an event.
Yes, or something like
I agree with you because
because it's on the Switch. What they could do is just have it be like, oh, here's it can be like a software update. They can have, oh, it's the Keldeo update. There'll be a Musketeer in the Pokemon Center who will tell you about this secret location east of this city.
There's a topic,
and you find out about that, and then you can go there and you can soft reset for a shiny mythical.
Now, that's a cool idea, but this made me think of something that they could do, since it is on the Switch and it's on Nintendo's new console. It's a new console, and Nintendo's experimenting with a lot of things like online functionality. But one of the things they've been experimenting with a lot recently is DLC.
DLC Battle Frontier.
Oh God!
I'd pay $10 for a Battle Frontier.
I guess.
And then they could use that to gauge how many people actually want the Battle Frontier.
Yeah, but like, I honestly can't see DLC in Pokemon. Like DLC in Smash, I could always see. Even back in Brawl, I was able to see that. DLC for like, they have DLC coming out, but it's free. I think it's just free update
for what?
Mario Odyssey.
Oh yeah, that's just a free DLC.
But like Zelda DLC. That I could expect too, because I was like, it's an open world. They can add more shit to do in it. Pokemon, the really only thing they can do with DLC is add new like areas for you to explore. That's only really they can do. Let's be fair here. They're not gonna charge $2 for a legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, I really don't see.
If they start charging for Pokemon, people are gonna get very, very upset. So the only thing they can really do is add either new areas or
Battle Frontier, Secret Island.
Could you see?
I could see them selling Sinnoh Underground or something.
Could you see It's gonna be a terrible idea, and probably would. I hope to God it never happens. But regional DLC packs, meaning certain regional Pokemon aren't available in the base game, but there are a lot. Let's keep this in mind. There are a lot.
I could see them.
But
doing
something
that.
like, let's say, not all the Johto Pokemon are in the game, and you have to pay $5 to get all Johto Pokemon unlocked in your game.
To release them all.
To release them all. They're all on separate.
To release a good number.
And they'll all be on separate routes, and they'll all be like, you can go catch them all again. Complete. It'd be for Pokedex completion purposes.
I could see them doing that, but it's not like it's any skin off my back because
it's not.
You know, Pokemon Bank makes it.
That's true.
I definitely see them continuing Pokemon Bank. By the way.
Oh yeah, they
like,
have. Well, they have to.
The groundwork is already there.
Yeah.
What's the point in making Ash Greninja compatible if it's only in one game?
Then I couldn't see regional based DLC at that point because you can literally get every Pokemon from patch generation. So if they
and that's how they sell other games too.
Yeah.
Is that this Pokemon's not in this region's Pokedex, but in our remakes they're plentiful.
Yeah.
That's how people figured there were going to be Ruby and Sapphire remakes, was there were a lot of Hoenn Pokemon absent from Kalos' decks.
Another thing I could see happening, since the Switch is a big console, I'm not saying an MMO. I'm not saying an MMO here.
Don't you dare.
I'm not saying MMO. I'm saying Warcraft-like expansion packs. I'm talking, so you mentioned the idea of multiple regions. I'm thinking here, they make a base, it's a full Pokemon game. But it'll kind of work like a MMO RPG, where they will instead of releasing a whole new game, they will release an expansion pack for the base Pokemon Switch game, where it will give you either a whole new region to explore, or something like that. Instead of making a whole new game, they'll say, "Oh, here's the Sinnoh expansion."
That's
pack.
turning down $30 for a remake.
I'm not saying it's gonna be free expansion packs, Brendan.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying they send that out for $10. Then why not just make that its own game and sell it for $40 or $60?
That's fair.
That's another thing. The games are gonna be $60 because they're on an official console.
That's true.
So they have to I feel like Game Freak's under a lot of pressure now because before they were just it's a 3DS game, so it's it might have a bit of a lag, but it's forgivable because it's a portable console. Who cares?
Yeah.
But now that they're on a Switch, their price tag is price tag is on par with Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not expecting their A game on this one.
Really?
I'm not saying it's gonna be the worst, but let's think of it this way. Every generation, except for maybe 3, every time Game Freak jumps to a new console, there's always that rough sticking their feet in the water. This is the first time Pokemon's been on a console since Coliseum.
And those are just side games.
And those are side games made by a different developer. So this is the first time Game Freak...
Game Freak has absorbed a lot of the Genius Sonority employees.
They have, but this is... But, keep in mind, we're getting the senior employees of Game Freak here, not the juniors.
The juniors made Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
They did. So,
thanks, boys.
Thank you.
And girls.
And boys. But, so this is the first time they're stepping their toes into, console territory. So, we know how X and Y went. We know how Diamond and Pearl went. When they jumped to a new console.
Granted, X and Y were great while everyone was playing them.
I don't doubt they're going to look bad.
No, I don't mean they're going to look bad. I just mean that everyone's going to have fun playing it.
Everyone's going to have fun playing it.
Pokemon.
But I think content-wise, it might be a bit lacking.
Potentially, yes.
Because they're going to be focusing a lot of the development time to make the game look good on the Switch and play right on the Switch.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think definitely they're going to reuse the models because they've been future-proofed. They're so high poly that it lags the 3DS. They don't need to spend time making models. They've basically they can just upscale the textures for environments and everything. They might have to model new plants and backdrops and everything, but
it depends on how much development time they've had.
Oh, they've definitely been developing it.
I mean,
since before they knew it was a Switch.
They've been, I think they were developing it before Sun and Moon. I think.
Absolutely, that's how their dev cycles are. Because Masuda didn't do Sun and Moon.
No.
Masuda didn't do Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
No.
I am sure they have been working on this since like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah. But
like they didn't quite know like the specs of the hardware they're working on, but they were like squaring away all the graphics and definitely design wise and everything.
But like, I think the game's gonna look fine. It's gonna play fine.
Like if you remember, Sun and Moon was in development or like in design stages like while everyone was playing X and Y.
That's true. And they even said that the Ultra Beasts for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or someone said that the Ultra Beasts for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon were supposed to be in the Switch title.
Fake news.
Is that fake news?
I believe so. That came from someone who just put Industry Insider in their bio. And I'm sorry I didn't make it clear that I was joking.
Oh.
I was making fun of him.
Well, this is what happens when you believe fake leaks, guys.
Yeah.
You become an idiot on a podcast.
But don't worry. If you got friends to correct you, you're good.
You're good. But then it's like playground rumors all over again. So we've talked about things you'd like to see. What don't we want to see?
I do not want to see Pocket Monster Hunter Breath of the Wild.
I don't either.
Because I don't want it to be like I don't want quote unquote open world. I do however want like I just want like the regular Pokemon region, but the control stick on the right Joy-Con moves the camera around.
Yes.
Like fixed camera I think should be a thing of the past.
Yeah, fixed
like
camera.
I think that's what I want for
I think
that would please people saying open world.
Yeah, I would like more mobility. Or like more like what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Is it more mobility?
More freedom.
More freedom.
And like
because like when you go on a route in a Pokemon game,
like Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon did fine with their camera angles because they knew what to focus on.
Yeah, it was focused on the player and the environment.
Or and sometimes they'd be like you'd come up to a ledge and it'd point up to look at the stars they spent hours working on.
Yeah, that's what. But like I want also like to be able to go down a route like the best example I'm thinking of right now is the first route after the forest in X and Y.
Yeah.
Come off that route, it's a fixed camera angle, it's one straight path.
And it's
turn
looking
left,
at the town.
then keep going down the straight path. I want to be able to kind of like maybe.
I think that
a
route
stretch
design
would be to get a first person mode. That would be a stretch.
No, I do not want that at all.
I'm not saying like it's a toggleable feature. Like in Breath of the Wild, you can have a first person like viewpoint, which is like through the camera or like through a lens. Mario doesn't have a first person viewpoint, but like
yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
You just zoom in all the way.
But like I would like more freedom and control of the camera.
Just a free camera. That way they could hide. Like someone on Verilis's podcast little thing said you could turn the camera around a tree to see an item that I didn't see this on my first run through this route.
Exactly.
Like so they can have more design freedom in like hiding stuff in places. Like there's actually a patch of grass back here that has an exclusive rare Pokemon.
Yeah.
This guide told me about it, but it was a text guide, so I didn't know quite where it was. And now that I found it, I feel accomplished.
Yeah.
Just like that's another thing. They could encourage exploration with that camera. They could do all sorts of stuff with it. And that's just with camera freedom.
I think a first person camera could work though, if they do it right.
Yes.
It's like a toggleable, like it's not always first person, but it's like toggleable. You can like go into it first person and get like a better viewpoint of the land. It's like controllable camera would just kind of help in general.
Something that I don't want is the lack of character customization.
I don't want that.
That sounds like I don't want not this thing I want.
What, but like, I guess we'll put in this. We'd like to see more expansion on the character customization.
And I'm not saying just like, let us Animal Crossing and design your own shirts and everything and like everything. I just mean stuff like
I would like more clothing options in general.
I want Pokemon Battle Revolutions customization.
I'm gonna say, I hate Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon's character customizers. I know they expanded a lot, but Why is everything shorts and shirts?
Oh yeah,
for a guy.
Because it's a region.
I know it's Hawaii. I know it's based on Hawaii.
But when I'm in the digital battle simulator over Wi-Fi, I look weird.
Yes. Or when I'm in the snowy peaks of Mount Lanakila, freezing my trunks off.
Actually, I didn't notice this before like a week or so ago, but like when you're up on that mountain and your idle animation changes and you start shivering.
I know you do.
I didn't know about that.
So maybe I should put some fucking jeans on outside. Maybe there should be a store at the top of the mountain that sells jeans and it's like, hey, you look pretty cold. Here's some jeans. Or maybe just a post-game store that sells any kind of clothing. Remember the cool store from X and Y that wouldn't let you in because you're not fashionable enough? That was the stupidest thing in the world.
I thought that was fine. I thought that was like, oh, that's like, what, you're gonna criticize that and then not criticize Mario Odyssey for making you wear a specific outfit to get behind there to get him?
Yeah, okay, that's dumb too. However, what's also dumb is fucking like blocking off a whole section because of my lower class. How fucking dare you, Pokemon? I'm sorry I can't afford the clothing right now because I'm fucking 10 years old.
That's another thing that I don't want. I don't want weird roadblocks.
Oh yeah, like the fuckers who were dancing in black and white.
That was funny. I like that. I don't want stuff like, oh, I'm using the Stoutland to find items in the road. You can't go that way.
We have a power outage. You can't go through anywhere in the city.
Yeah, but
even though it's clear, even though it's daytime and I can clearly see that way.
Well, and NPCs can also still walk down that.
Yeah, NPCs can still go down that way. Oh, I'm so sorry. Or what else?
Psyduck with a headache.
Psyduck with a headache.
They're a Psyduck. You can step over them.
You can fucking kick them.
How tall is Psyduck? 2'11" or something?
He's like fucking...
You can walk. You can just walk over or walk around them.
You can fucking kick them and they'll go away.
Something I want to continue to see is the sound effect when you run into a wall. They cannot get rid of that. I also want the same sound when you move text files, text boxes. I meant to say boxes, not books.
Yes, I got it.
Also, okay, Sun and Moon had a bit of an issue with this, but it wasn't as bad as like other games. There's a rule in storytelling. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called show don't tell, and there's a lot of show don't tell stuff. Specifically what most disappointed me in Sun and Moon. It wasn't like, oh, the game is too easy. I beat it with my arms tied behind my back. It was when you go do the Pikamuku chucking, instead of showing a funny animation of you throwing a Pikamuku into the water, the screen goes black and says you chuck the Pikamuku in the water, and then it has a boom sound effect.
We have a new system. We have lots of graphics. We played 1080p on this thing.
I don't think they can get away with just texting, telling instead of showing anymore.
They can't.
Like
also,
Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were very taxing on the 3DS, so I could understand why they left out a bunch of animations and stuff. That's another thing. More animations in the battle.
That's what I was kind of referring to when I said I still want turn-based battles, but I just want more animation.
Yeah, they don't have to make brand new models for everyone. Just make Sableye, give them more oomph to their
give me the Milady from Honchkrow again. Put that back in the game.
Put that gif up.
Put that gif on the screen. Future me, please. Can I get that again? Can I have that again? I don't know where
I'd love that. I also really want
I can hear you writing, Brendan.
Good. I just want more. I want the animations to be like they are in Pokemon Battle Revolution and Coliseum and XD and Stadium 2 and Stadium 1.
I would love it if they brought back the more light, because X and Y, Sun and Moon kind of did it, but I want the more realistic sizes of these Pokemon.
Sun and Moon got rid of it.
Yeah, they did.
Because they had to have the character models on screen.
But now Kyogre.
But now that
I'm gonna bring up a stupid one. Kyogre being like the size of a basic fish against Archie is the stupidest and funniest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Did you know that there's actually an Alolan version of a Generation 3 Pokemon in Sun and Moon? It's hidden, and you might not notice it your first way through, but Alolan Wailord are actually dwarfs. They're about the size. They're about like 5 feet 11 inches tall. You can lay on them.
You can lay on one.
They're so I want
to see life-size Pokemon. I want to see Groudon at 11 foot tall.
Yeah. And I want to be able to see that.
I want to see foot tall Roselia, and I want to see 4-inch tall or 4-inch wide Joltik. Again.
Yes, I want to see something like I want to be able to tell that Primal Groudon is bigger than regular Groudon. Not looking at the Pokédex entry, I want to be able to see that difference.
Yes,
Kyogre doubles in size when it goes primal.
Yeah,
I want to see that visibly.
Now this might be pushing. No, it's not pushing the system at this point.
Yeah,
we're on the Switch.
The Switch can be pushed to limits, but
if we're on the Wii U, then maybe I'd say, we have
they were making 3DS games before this, so they're not going to be pushing anything yet.
Yeah, they pushed the Switch. They pushed the 3DS to its limits, and that game still looks great.
They need to bring back rotation and triple battles. Just a side note.
Did they not bring those back?
No, not.
I never noticed because I never participated in those.
Not in Generation 7 because. You've seen double battles lag like hell in Sun and Moon.
I remember the infamous in Gen 6, you take 6 Moltres and bring up the sun.
No, you bring out the sand.
Right, and just slow the game down to a crawl of 5 frames per second.
Yeah.
I just want to see the game not push itself to its limits, but I want them to push more for graphics wise. I know it's gonna look fine. I know it's a Pokemon game. It doesn't ever tend to look bad, but I also would like to see more color. Some of the colors were kind of dry in X and Y.
In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, when they saturated everything, it looked much better.
It looks much better, but I kind of want those colors to keep being pushed.
So back on the topic of character customization, because that kind of ties into color. I want, I said Pokemon Battle Revolution customization. If you've ever played that game, you know how extensive the character customization is in that game. Because you can choose a body type. You can be like the big buff man. You can be the cool trainer who's taller than the regular trainer. You can be like a little kid.
I would like that.
I want to be able to do that kind of character.
I want to be a fat guy.
I want to be able to have a beard.
Hell yeah.
Because you said you didn't like the character customization in Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
No.
But I do because it just looks like I do.
It does.
Except I have a beard.
To be fair, every character in a Pokemon game looks like me by default because I look like
you're a regular person.
I have my hair like an anime character every day. But when it comes to character customization, the best one, Battle Revolution is a good one. Another good one, for clothing wise, is Pokken. Pokken has...
But that's just changing graphics on a Barbie dress-up.
That is! But I know that's simple, but can I have that amount in my fucking Pokemon Switch game, please?
Yeah.
Now, could they... I don't think they would. I was going to say they could go back to just, the 2D drawn art for every...
I do not want that at all.
I was wondering if they would do that for every character. Then it'd become Fire Emblem.
A lot of people want a 2D, 3D hybrid thing where, the Pokemon are still sprites. And I honestly would despise that. If they decided to make it paper Pokemon instead of Paper Mario, and bring back sprites and everything, I'd just
y'all can't see the face I'm making. It's the most disgusted face.
They made 3D models for a reason.
They made the 3D models for a reason. What else do we not want to see?
I don't want to see. I was gonna say a lol edgy rival character, but I love Gladion.
I want a fucking rival, okay?
You didn't like Hal or Gladion? how and Gladion work together well.
I'm gonna go into a lot of detail about this in the fucking X and Y complaints video or podcast we'll make, but I want a fucking rival again. Yes. I want a rival who will challenge me, who will be a dickhead and say, "Wow, that guy was a fucking dick."
I don't necessarily want a dickhead. I want.
Okay, let me say
this. I really want How, Gladion, and Barry.
I don't want
and maybe
friends.
I want How, Gladion, Barry, maybe Charon and Hugh.
I want a mixture of Hugh and Charon.
Yeah.
Charon was great because he wasn't a total dickhead, but he challenged you.
Your fusion has a name. His name is Barry.
Yeah, Barry. I want Barry again. Give me Barry.
Barry is so cool.
Barry is the best rival they've had to date.
I see people picking on him all the time, saying like, "Oh, he was the first." Or like he was the first really offensive friend rival, but I'm like,
get the
May and
May,
Brendan.
get
May
the
and
fuck. May was there first. May was like not. I wouldn't even call her a friend. She was an acquaintance.
You need to take it down a notch. First of all, equality. It's May and Brendan who
are
both. They're the exact same character.
May and Brendan. I'm so sorry to your character. I'm so sorry to your OC, Brendan.
And Wally was okay.
Wally was fine,
but like.
But I felt bad for Wally because I was kicking his fucking ass.
People who pick on Barry, I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Because Barry is like my ideal rival.
Barry is not a total dickhead like Blue or Silver.
He's not.
But he challenges you.
He's not a complete idiot.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, and your intent to beat him isn't
make him feel
he's
bad.
Annoying. It's I need to teach him a lesson, or he wants to fuck me up.
Like when I'm battling a rival, I don't want to feel like I'm bullying my opponent. You know what I mean?
Serena broke my heart in X and Y.
Serena,
I was so mean to her.
I felt like I was bullying.
Like, let's compete for the Mega Stone, for the Mega Bracelet. Oh, okay, you won. Okay. And it's like, I'm gonna challenge you on Victory Road.
But she gets one anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter.
I'm gonna beat you. And you beat her down. It's like, and then she just makes a disappointed face, and I'm just like, I kind of feel bad.
Like, I felt bad to beat Hal, because he especially in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
No,
he gets to the champion spot.
I didn't feel bad about that.
He
was tough.
Well, he was tough. Really? I had no problem. I felt bad because here's the deal.
Then again, I used
when they did the twist in Red and Blue, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to kick this guy's ass. I want to beat him because he's a fucking dickhead, doesn't deserve to be champion. I do. How? I'm like, okay, yeah, you're champion. Good for you. Good job, buddy. You did it. And then and then you just kick his ass into the ground. And then you just, his one accomplishment in life, he finally became champion of Alola, and you just stomp on him and say, fuck you, I'm the champion now. Get out of here.
Well, technically, you got there first, so you're the champion, and he's just competing to become the champion.
Is that how it works?
Yeah. Is that how it works? But, like, I think that brings up the difficulty in the games.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is the best. I think I just want that level of difficulty.
Basuda? I'm talking to you here. I want you to listen to me. Kids like challenge. Adults like challenge. They don't want a baby game. I don't want a game meant for babies. You get it?
Yes.
You get what I mean? Because
I very get it.
Because if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Masuda, there's a famous quote from Masuda, wasn't it? He said that
it's not like a quote. It's just that his main idea currently is that if a game is too hard at this point in time, like, kids will quit the game and then just get on their smartphone and play an easier game.
That's why I think they need to stop.
It's like any kid who does that is likely not bringing in your money anyway.
That's why I think that, like, Pokemon needs to stop being a pure kids game. Kind of reach into that Zelda E10 territory.
That's what Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is.
Yeah.
Like, they need, like, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon had, like, the younger developers on.
Yes.
And it shows because
they know how battling works.
They know how Pokemon should feel.
They know where the meta game is going, and they know what people look for in a challenge in a Pokemon game. Double battles?
I want more of them.
I would like toggleable double battles. Actually, you brought up one of that.
Yeah,
something like that recently.
Me and Griffin, we had a conversation recently where I was talking about how like, wouldn't it be cool if in the options menu you could choose between, instead of like, as well as like shift and set battle mode and changing what your text box looks like, you could also set, do you want to encounter in single or double battles?
The problem is I said it'd be like, you'd have to make, like,
you'd have to make every NPC have 2 Pokemon at least.
And also, I would like it to be challenging and not just be double battle for the sake of it being a double battle.
Yeah.
Because that's what I kind of, like, because XD and Gale of Darkness was all double battles.
XD and Coliseum.
XD and Coliseum, I'm sorry. XD and Coliseum was all double battles because it was like, that was the thing. That was the thing at the time, and also they built the whole foundation on double battles. And since they did, they had challenging double battle bosses.
Yeah, since you had to also catch a Pokemon while doing a double battle.
It's what made Horde not Horde Encounters, and what made what are they called in Sun and Moon?
Double Grass?
No, Sun and Moon.
SOS battles.
Yeah, that's what made fucking SOS battles so annoying.
Well, they fixed it in Sun and Ultra Moon.
They did. They can only call one at a time.
Unless you use an Inner Adrenaline Orb, and at that point, they know you're a shiny hunter.
They know you're a shiny hunter.
That's okay. That's something else I want. I want more shiny hunting methods.
I would like the Dex Nav to return. I would also like
Friend Safari
to return. I would also like chain hunting to come back.
Okay.
In some form or fashion.
Now we were when we said Friend Safari, I was thinking about like, oh yeah, that's the thing X and Y did really well. But then I was like, wait a minute, the PSS.
Oh yeah. Okay. 2 things I'm gonna bring up. 1. It's going back to the older guys. Masuda, please bring that back. The young guys fucked it up. They brought out the Festival Plaza. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
I have to say something about that.
What do you got?
I don't think the Festival Plaza is nearly as bad as everyone says.
It's not that bad, but when compared to the PSS, the best system for online connectivity for Pokemon.
It's just clunkier than the PSS, which is just convenience.
Yeah.
And, like, functional. Stop doing that. It's going to show up.
You're right.
But, like, what I would like is you could have, like, a Festival Plaza-like area.
There's
but have
the joint avenue
well, yeah.
Black and White.
Well, or Black and White too.
Yeah.
The Festival Plaza is based on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
have like avenue, and then
you could have but like here's my idea. You could have like a joint avenue Festival Plaza like area you go to from the pause menu that you go online, and then you have the PSS just like in the menus. But then what else you can do is, since it's like on the Switch, wouldn't it be cool if Festival Plaza was like an MMO kind of room where you could walk around with 10 other people also using the PSS? Like, you weren't limited to just interacting with those 10 people.
Yeah.
But you could...
It's basically whoever...
You were in, like, a chat room with them, and you can directly trade with them.
That would be nice. I would like that.
And, well, and talking about that made me realize, like, again, we're going to have to... I said open the PSS from a menu because there's no bottom screen.
That was the second thing I was going to bring up. What is the interface going to be like?
It's gonna be just like Gen 3 and below.
I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be pause the game, and like the screen's gonna darken and your menu's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
And honestly, it could be interesting.
It could be a good callback.
Somebody
if they do that though, they have to bring back customizable borders. Yes.
Somebody brought up in I think it was Joe Merrick Cereby's Twitch chat that I was in. Somebody said, isn't it kind of ironic that the first game to have double screens, Diamond and Pearl, is most likely to get a remake on the system that only has one?
Yep.
And that's
interesting.
That's kind of something
to think about.
I think they're definitely going to possibly use that for nostalgia baiting. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of nostalgia baiting in this because it's a console game. It's going to be a lot of people's first romp back in the series.
A lot of Gen 1. Stuff.
It's
what can we expect to see in a game though?
What I expect.
What are we expecting? I'm expecting. What's gonna be the gimmick? We gotta have a gimmick.
Well, we've already got.
We're getting cynical.
We've already got Mega Forms and then Z moves, which can be used.
Burst Forms for everyone.
I don't expect that.
No, I'm joking.
I think maybe. Like, I don't know.
I don't think we're gonna introduce another stone mechanic, like another Z move or another.
I think there's going to be something, like a new held item that does something.
I think the new gimmick should be
more regional variants.
The one I want. Oh yeah, I hope for more regional variants as well. That's what I'd like to see. The one I would like to see, the gimmick I'd like to see, is something that just changes the battle interface just a little bit. Nothing like the dodge mechanic we talked about. Nothing major.
Actually, yeah, that could be it.
Like just something small to kind of change up the battle mechanics. That's all I want. I don't want them to say Mega Super Ultra forms. It's a new thing. You gotta get a Brock, put it on the Pokemon, and you gotta do a twirl around with your Switch, and then there's do a little dance.
And then there's one that doesn't need that item, and it becomes ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I think
there'll be like a lot of Switch connectivity parts. I know we said we don't want that, but I feel like there's gonna be like motion control.
I don't think they're gonna do a lot of motion control.
I think they'll do it for something like Pokemon and Me.
Yes, I'd love that. I'd love to feel Pikachu's fur with the HD rumble.
Ooh. Oh yeah,
or like
controls. I didn't think about that.
Or when you touch his cheek, it actually like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like rumble. Like, if like you use thunder in the game, will the rumble go off?
Yeah. I think they could do some fun stuff with that.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do too much with it.
No, I'm not saying it's gonna be like gimmicky heavy with this Switch.
It's not gonna be as big as like having a second screen where it's like if they make the next console different, we're gonna have to rethink everything.
No, nothing like that.
Okay, this is a really bold prediction, but I think that they might integrate Joy-Cons into character customization in some way. Like maybe change how you throw a Pokeball in battle.
Okay.
They experimented with styles and some.
They did.
I think they could do that.
I think I could agree with that. I could see what is it?
Anything along the lines of like HD Rumble.
Yeah, anything with HD Rumble. They'll probably actually be one of the first, because I didn't think about this, but the Switch is a touchscreen pad. And no games I played so far really utilize that. At least none of the ones that I played. So I think Pokemon's gonna definitely take advantage of the touchscreen functionalities of the Switch. I think
maybe with like signing the back of your trainer card, but I don't think it's gonna get too big.
Can we have polishing our badges back, please?
I don't want that.
I like that. I thought it was a fun little mechanic. The interactivity of the trainer ID card was so much fun. I like that you can shine your badges. You can sign your name on the back.
They're probably gonna, yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're probably gonna make it so that you can like sign the back of your trainer card and draw like a Splatoon picture, like a Miiverse post.
Yeah, it'll be. Oh, Miiverse posts.
Oh, here's an idea. Will they bring back the Alola Photo Club and use that as like a Miiverse post thing?
I was about to say something else. Going off your idea of there being like a hub area for like multiplayer,
like a festival plaza like area.
What if the big city, like the Lumios of this city, was that hub area?
That's another thing I was thinking. Like maybe like the Entralink in black and white.
Yeah, but like that's like the main hub. But like, hopefully they don't do like something stupid like you gotta wait in line to go to the gym, or something stupid like that.
Okay.
But like you can like interact with players there and stuff like that, and maybe you could just start in that area.
Oh, this is something that not really anybody is not any hardcore gamers are looking at, not any casual gamers, but like I really want to be able to buy Apricorn balls. I want to be able to buy all the different kinds of Pokeballs. Let me buy Dream Balls already.
But Brandon Verlis will never know when someone's cheating or not.
Okay, if you manage to fuck up genning a Pokemon like that, you deserve to get caught. Like, and if you're, and it's like he says, if you're, I didn't realize that my friend who sent me a Premier Ball shiny Incineroar was hacking. You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Like, whatever. I don't want to talk about my
secret obsession with Verlis. Well, speaking of Verlis, you do have a Verlis note. Do you want to talk about that? Or
Okay, yes. Actually, that was a battle system type thing.
What?
And it was something I could actually see them doing. I don't remember if it was him or... Actually, it was him. And it was really interesting. It was a good idea, in my opinion. It's complicated. Okay, so basically it would go along with Game Freak's idea of making competitive more accessible, right?
Yes.
They've introduced hyper training, which I think they'll get rid of the level 100 requirement. I think they might lower it to 50.
Right.
And I think super training or Pokepelago of some sort will be back to help you get precise EVs. But Verlisai's idea instead is, instead of getting EVs as you beat Pokemon, when you level up, you can choose where a certain number of EVs go into different stats, like a regular RPG. Where, like, oh, I leveled up and I have 3 EVs to give to, or whatever number it balances out to at level 50. I can give this amount of EVs to any stat I want, and you can just, like, deposit them all into one stat, or...
That'd be interesting.
Like, and that would ruin stuff like Smogon's Little Cup, where precise stuff is necessary for level 5 Pokemon.
I kind of think it would work if it was from the beginning.
But like,
because a lot of RPGs, like I've been playing Fire Emblem lately, and like Fire Emblem, you're allowed to like every time you level up, maybe it's not Fire Emblem, but there have been RPGs in the past I played where like every time you level up, you get to pick what stats you want to put into your character.
Yes, Mario and Luigi does that.
Yeah.
Or well, they do it with like a lucky chance thing.
Yeah. If they did that with every Pokemon, I think that could work. Now,
I think it could work, but it would like,
and you could have that. You could still have that 225 limit.
No, 510 or 508.
Is it 508? Well, yeah, 508. But like 225 for each thing limit, rather.
252.
252. My bad. But you can still have that 252 limit for each stat.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even really pay that close attention to the numbers unless it's like a VGC mon where I'm calcing for something. I just put in the Pokepelago for 63 training sessions.
Yeah. So that can work. Like one thing I think Game Freak has focused a lot on easing it for the metagame, and that's nice, but like I would like the base game to still have like I will say having that would probably make the base game easier.
Yeah.
Because if you could manipulate the Pokemon's EVs,
then instead of going to the Pokemon League with a non-EV trained Pokemon, you're going in with
a fully EV trained competitive mon.
So
they would have to. But we've already seen with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, many trainers have EV trained mons.
Yes.
So as long as you keep the enemy trainers EV trained, then that would be fair. That would be fair, and that would work.
I think I don't know how exactly I feel about that system, but I think it would be interesting.
I think it could work.
But here's the alternative to that idea. They didn't bring it up in Verlis's video, but like this idea is like one that people have had for a while now, where it's like when you go online, you can distribute stats the way you want before you challenge someone in a Wi-Fi battle.
Right.
Where like you set like maybe it's like a little slider, but like you click on the Pokemon and you choose its set or whatever. And like, because that would make it a level playing field for 14-year-old Timmy and 20-year-old PK Hexer. Like that would even the playing field.
Yeah, but then you lose the aspect of like training the mon up and like
that is true. Well, they could make it so that you can only do that to like level 50 Pokemon.
I get, but like everything's set to level 50.
It's all complicated.
Everything's set to level 50 with Wi-Fi battles anyway, though.
Well, I just meant like
they have
in
to
game.
In game,
I don't know. It's complicated.
I would like it to where you can pick the EV distribution from leveling up. I would like that. I don't want it to be too complicated. I mean, it's already complicated as it is trying to EV train, but we'll see.
Bring back reset bags.
I'm honestly not that interested in what the competitive side we're looking for in the competitive side. I'm more interested in what like the main game is going to be like.
Because like that's all Pokemon is really.
It is, but
Pokemon is all about.
But that's what I want the focus to kind of shift back to. That's what I was kind of saying a minute ago with like, I don't
story-wise.
want Pokemon to be built as a game to prep you for competitive. I want there to be a base game with a great competitive scene afterwards.
Okay.
Because that's what X and Y felt like. X and Y definitely felt like that. It was a game to prep you for post-game metagaming.
And it really did with like
It
super
did.
training and
It did.
like introducing concepts
But the
slowly.
base game itself just wasn't there.
It doesn't stand on its own.
If you can build me a base game that can play like a competitive game, like a Drayano hack or something like that, then that'd be interesting. Then I'd be interested.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is close.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is close, but not quite. It still needs that challenge from almost every turn.
Yeah, we need more 6 Pokemon teams. We need more stuff like that. Oh no.
Game Freak.
I triggered something.
Stop. Keep giving me trainers with Pokemon with no more or no less than 3 moves. Stop it. Stop making the rivals have only 4 Pokemon, 2 of them only having 2 to 3 moves. Stop it.
Yeah.
It takes extra
development. Especially near the end of the game.
It takes extra development time. I know it does.
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
Yeah, you can just set it in game. Like that's how.
Well, you could
well,
set
that's
it.
why ROM hacks are so easy.
But it would basically just be easier, to just let the level up moveset take place.
Yeah, they actually put in more time making a move blank than they would just leaving it as a level up move. Because
what's wrong with leaving a 4th move slot?
In the game's code, if you leave a Pokemon's move as none, it just sets it to whatever move that Pokemon learns at that level.
Now you kind of made a good point by saying it would be to kind of keep it from spamming that one move, like a shit move.
It can be strategic. Like I think in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, it is intentional.
It's strategically used to kind of like keep the enemy bond from using like Growl 14 times.
Like the Choice Scarf only Rock Slide Aerodactyl is set like that so that it will always use Rock Slide and try to flinch you.
But the Petal Dance only Roserade with no item, that's a problem.
That's X and Y.
I know it's X and Y, but that's a problem that they kind of fixed, but just give me 6.
Yeah. At least give that Roserade a choice specs.
Sure, make the move stronger if you're gonna make it a move that give it only one move that's locked into a turn anyways.
Yeah,
just
make the difficulty a bit different.
Just spike the difficulty. There you go.
Like I think Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is a good difficulty.
Yes.
I think if it's not harder than Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but not easier than Sun and Moon, I'll be happy.
Yes.
I'll be very happy with the result.
I'll be happy with that. Fine with that.
And if they bring back like the good stuff from X and Y, if they bring back if they make the stories more character driven, then it would be like my ideal Pokemon game.
I agree. So we're coming up to about 2 hours.
Yeah, we're coming up on the end.
So do we have any final thoughts for the Pokemon Switch discussion?
I'll probably come up with something later.
Well, I mean, we'll definitely still be talking about like the Pokemon Switch upcoming release until
it comes out.
Well, we do have one last thing: release and announcement predictions. When do you think the game's coming out, and when do you think the announcement's gonna be? The announcement's pretty easy for me.
Announcement. Let's say it at the same time.
E3.
All right.
E3,
yeah.
It's E3.
It's
either going to be E3.
It's either going to be E3 or Nintendo Direct near the end of the year.
Yes.
And if they reveal it at E3, it's either coming out this year or the next. And if it's not at E3 and they reveal it in a Direct near the end of the year,
it's coming out
next year.
That's what I think. E3. I think it's going to reveal itself at E3. If not, it's going to be the next month in a Direct.
Do you think it's... I don't think it's going to be like next month. I think it's going to be
not
November.
This next month. Next month after.
No, I meant... Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, maybe E3 is like May, June.
Well, you know when they did
it in like August at the earliest.
When they announced Smash, or like when Smash was like coming out, they did a whole presentation at E3, and then like 2 months later they did the Nintendo Direct for before it came out on the 3DS.
But like,
I'm predicting that's what's gonna kind of happen.
if they reveal at 83, there's a potential it's coming out this year, but I really don't see it coming out this year.
I'm expecting a spring release date for 2019.
It's either going to be spring or summer.
Yeah.
Or, well, actually, I was going to say it's either going to be spring or summer, or fall or winter, and then that's all 4 seasons. I think if it doesn't come out this holiday, it's going to come out...
in spring.
I don't know. Like, spring is what I'd like, but
Quote
I
me here
could
today.
Definitely see
Episode
it in, like,
1 of the Experience Share podcast, Griffin Hogan said...
Don't say your last name.
I already said your first and last name.
You did?
Yeah, who cares?
Oh.
I'll fucking blur it out. I don't care. Note that on this day, Griffin of the Experience Share podcast, stated that the release date for the Pokemon Switch game will be...
February 26th?
May 2019.
Oh, okay.
March or May?
What about April?
Wait.
Will it be an April release like Diamond and Pearl?
What's the anniversary of Pokemon?
February 26th. That's why I said it.
Maybe then. Maybe.
I at some point it will come out at some point where it is all we really know.
If I called it, then link back to this first episode of the podcast.
It's not really a bold prediction.
It's not. It's really not. Yeah, I could literally say it's coming out 12 months from now.
Yeah, and it's like, it came earlier than he said. Oh. He must be so excited.
He must have knew. He must have worked for Game Freak.
You could say, like, it's coming out within the next 5 years.
It's coming out within the next 2 years. It'll be out by at least 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason I think 2019 definitely is because there's always like a skip year typically.
Yeah, or
there's usually a skip year between certain games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they take that extra year, it would be a great way to just assure me that they're taking a good amount of development time for the game.
Yeah, but the development cycles, they've already...
I know,
they're,
but like
yeah.
taking the extra time, it just means a little bit to me. Because X and Y looks like they spent a fucking month on it.
No, you can tell they worked so long on that game.
To put no time into it.
No. They worked really hard on that game. Like, you can look at... No. They did like 700 something models. That are all like super high poly.
They did.
They worked for so long on that game, but like it definitely looks like they didn't have enough time. I think it looks like Game Freak develops their games first and then considers the console second.
No.
That's the feeling I get.
No.
I think that's how it's going to be for the Switch one.
Well, for the Switch, but X and Y, I didn't feel that at all.
Really?
Making 700 models for a brand new game is hard. But what you're saying is they make the game, they come up with the game concepts and designs first, and then they worry about the console limitations. So
yeah, they have to get the dev kit.
So you're telling me they spent a good amount of time making a good rival, a good team villain?
That's not what I said. That is not what I said. I did not say they focused all of their time on writing.
We'll save this it'll probably be the next episode where we talk about X and Y, but if not, it'll be in the next few episodes. But I think that's going to do it for today.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we've been going on for 2 hours. This did go on longer than it probably will in the future. We'll probably learn how to condense down
time. This is a special.
It's the first episode. We're learning as we go along.
It's a 2.5 hour premiere.
It's the SpongeBob SquarePants special.
Cut that out. Viacom's gonna sue us.
You're right. That sounds too much like Patchy the Pirate. But yeah, we did spend a lot of extra time introducing ourselves. Most of it's gonna be focused on trying to get news, talk about the news of Pokemon, and having like a good lengthy discussion on like 2 topics for the podcast.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's not just Pokemon.
Yeah, it's not just Pokemon either. We'll have plenty of topics.
We're definitely going to be talking about Pokemon a lot. That's definitely the focus.
I mean, we just spent about 2 hours talking about it, but
yeah.
I mean,
talking about a hypothetical game.
Talking all. We spent 2 hours of hypotheticals. Jesus Christ, or more like an hour. Because the first hour is like questions and news. But I think that's got to do it.
All right.
For today. So, thank you guys so much for joining.
Let's do our first outro, shall we?
What's our outro?
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, friends.
I'll see you next time.
I'll see you in the next video.
And then make sure you're playing the music when you're editing this.